acid with Justice. I was like, they never have meter when they hit her.
Yeah, because they're always using it to get prevent the risk buildup or the chip. Those bombs, man, they're
Yeah, man. So
crazy.
you're basically just nicking her to death, and then once you get to like that level 5, you have to just like you're just you're piddling her, like you're like pelting her with like tissue paper. So it's like, oh no. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shoot. Should I just pull up the matchup chart and we'll, or is there anything like general things you want to talk about with Zappa at all? Or I guess we should also introduce you because we just started just talking immediately about like guilty. Yeah. So this is Kenji.
You got.
He's he plays a lot of Zappa. How many games do you have with Zappa right now? Like, how many is it? Would you say?
Man, so since rollback started, I was playing a lot. I was trying to squeeze in as many matches as I could before the beta ended.
Oh, you played before beta too, right? I'm guessing.
No, I haven't. I actually never played
Kenji, you play so much. I thought I was bad. I'm sorry. I'm calling you out.
With COVID and stuff, right? And you're just like chilling. And you're like,
I'm like, damn.
Rollback? You got rollback, dude? That was like instant crack for me, man.
Kenji has as many wins that I have in total games, and I play a lot. His victories are efficient. I mean, I don't think Zappa kills you really quickly. So like his wins are actually like how fast could you kill a character with Zappa?
It depends on what he gets early on. I would say if he gets dog or sword, matches could end in like maybe 20 to like 30 seconds.
Right. That's. See, I play May where I just could like IK people like the beginning of the rounds. I'm like, that sucks for you, man. That's 20 seconds wasted right there.
Oh no, I mean, man, May's one of those characters though, right? Like she's just so good with her movements. She's got a lot of mobile movements.
Yeah, so, like, that's something that's like hard to explain to people. Like people don't think that she's mobile, and I'm like, dude, she is hella mobile. Like, we'll talk about it when we get to May for Zappa. The thing that I don't know what I could do, like, as you like talk to other through the other characters, like I can't really chime in because I'm not a Soul player, I'm not a Kai player, so like I'll probably let you just take full reign of the conversation. If Chad has any questions, we could bring it up though, maybe. Does that sound
okay? Let me I have to go to your Twitch stream because I was just looking at the Discord screen.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I can also show you the matchup chart here if you want to just do it here rather than going to the Twitch stream. What do you think was better for you?
Yeah, because I think you sent me the link, right?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Why don't you do it from here, then you can just talk through it that way. That might be easier, right? Then you don't have to worry about having the stream open as well. Oh, I guess you can see chat, which is kind of nice, right? They ask you questions.
Well, yeah, no, I could just use your stream. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, but there's a link too, anyways. Actually, I'm not impressed with people without 5,000 games per se. I'm more impressed with how they found 5,000 people to accept matches. Coco Jambo is going to ask you a generic question. How do I not lose the sword?
How do I not lose the sword? So the best advice I could give is understand like the block strings with the sword. Usually starts with like
it's a low,
yeah,
right?
Like,
usually low.
Right? It's just kind of block correctly, meaning well, it's easier said than done against the sword.
Right.
5S to 5H is like a natural Gatling, and after 2S, he could go into 6H, 5H, or 2H. 2H is like the
that one has a hole in it, if I recall, too, right? If you do 2H.
What is that?
5H, 2H has a hole in it, if I recall correctly. Am I wrong? I closed my game.
Yes, I think there is. I think there actually is a gap. Yeah. Right. So 5H, 5H is the sword swipe. You can actually slash back.
Yeah, that's something I think too. That's going to come with time for players.
People need to do that.
Yeah.
People actually need to just get used to swiping that because I see. I got the luxury to play. What's that guy? Hossa. I played as Cliff, and he was flashbacking every single one of my quarter circle back cards, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like when he did that, it just messed up my like neutral instantly, and I was like, the sword is like really far behind him. He's like doing his little forward hops towards me. I was like, shit, and he started doing drill.
That's the thing too. I think a lot of players now that are getting back into +R probably still haven't learned slashbacking, or they're now learning it. So that's something that I think is going to happen over time, right? Especially as people keep playing.
Yeah, the more you play, you'll get familiar with the block strings, and people recently online have been blocking those strings like really well. So um, yeah, I
Yeah,
think they're having more Zappa experience. But the sword is not too bad once you understand like the basic strings. But the one messed up thing about the sword I think is the hardest. It's pure gamble. Is the jump H mix up.
yeah.
So yeah, so there's no way to react to those. I feel like those are the ones you are more likely to get hit by than the
Those
ground
are all
pressure stuff.
overheads though, right? If I recall.
Yeah, those are all overheads. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not. That's like basically like that's probably like a less than 15 frame overhead. If I would, I'm guessing, right? Just
Hmm.
numerically. I think it
Yeah,
helps
it's
that
pretty fast.
versus when he actually gets. He's actually pretty easy to slash back at. Yeah, especially like down H, right? Things that are like consistently like you can see a Q2, I think, are pretty good
Yeah,
slash backy points.
the second like, the parts of slashback are like the second part of 6H. So 6H is the sword that does the two hit. It's an overhead and a low. So you can slash back the low hit, and that really messes up momentum too.
I wonder if I should pull up
Um,
Zappa like in the back. I just show people what we're talking about because it's like people are like, if they're anything like me, they just go. I just see a sword flailing around in front of my character's face. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick, and then
yeah, that sword is pretty good.
um, yeah, but I
I
think
mean,
yeah,
I play Zappa players that get hit by sword because it's just sword. You know what I mean? It's such a
it's a
it's
good
a
poking
good
move. It's a good poking move, but like
yeah.
that's what I was wondering about Zappa. Like I think as people, it'll feel oppressive, right? But like Sword has a lot of recovery on everything he does, especially if you slashback stuff, right? Like he's just going, oh no, like when the things are slashback, right? Like you're stuck typically, right?
Just go in training mode and just do like 5S, 2S, 5H, half circle back, hard slash, and get used to that timing
Yeah,
after
I'll pull
it's
it up real
5H. It
quick.
usually comes out after it's 5H or 2H and stuff, but I mean, once you get used to it, it really destroys his momentum with the sword. Like you could dash in, Zappa might have to like, commit to like a DP to call it back or
What were we saying?
half circle.
5S, 2S, 5H, 2H? Alright, oh, this
No,
is
no, just do
guaranteed 2S.
so just do 5S, 2S, 5H, and then half circle back, hard slash.
Oh yeah, that's a very common thing that you always do, right? Oh man, this is actually really annoying that it's like stays behind you sometimes. Right, that string, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can cancel
Then
before the. You can't special cancel until the second hit of 5H.
you can do it during the first or second hit. The time it's weird. There's like a weird gap in there, so sometimes your inputs might get messed up.
Oh, never mind. It's a half circle motion to the swing. That's why I was doing quarter circle. Okay. Ah. So that's basically the mix-up you would have to go for, right? But if you slash back any of those hits, you're in trouble, right? Because the sword is, like you said, really far forward at this point.
Yeah, so that's the move you want to slash back though. The strings you don't want to try to slash back. Just kind of just block the whole string basically, crouch block. And then here's another thing too, like you should just block low the whole entire time until you see 2H, because he has no other lows. Or sorry, he has no other low options after 2H.
So
after 2H, so after 2H, he has to either commit to 6H, half circle back, hard slash, or DP or something like that. But yeah, like there's no reason to stand up during the whole string until you see that move in particular, because he could jump cancel that. So everything after that also becomes over, right? If he jumps. But if you're blocking high already, you're going to block his high mix-ups already, just by standing up to 2H. So yeah, until he lands back down, just block low. So it's a little bit of like just like knowledge flowchart of like what's the cues, right? To look for 2H, you should just instantly block high because he has nothing else. He only has high attacks, and not just that, but it brings his sword above his opponent's waist. So he can't go for a low, even if you do 2S in the air. So.
Oh, so if the sword's placed low enough, it can be a low, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So if it hits under the, it has to hit under the knee to be a low. So if it's anything higher, it's not. 2S just becomes a high at that point.
Ah, that's interesting to know. So that's why it's so important to get that string to get the hard slash out, right? Because then that's where it's or half circle back hard slash, right? To get the sword low enough to be a 50-50 basically.
And here's the other thing too. So during 2 hard slash, since his sword is very high, and he keeps on like if you lift something in the air that's really high and you're crouching, you can actually dash after that because there's a lot of recovery on sword normals.
Oh, sorry, which normal were we talking about? I just missed it.
Okay, so like if you were to do like 2H
Yeah.
on Kai in the corner, just look at how high it goes.
Yeah, you can, wow, like, I don't know what here. Yeah, another sword.
Yeah.
You can start jabbing them with Zappa.
Yeah, so let's say if he's trying to bring the sword back down with 2S or something, but you're crouching and it whips you, just run after that because there's so much recovery.
Yeah.
Like, I literally cannot move after I press like 5S or 2S in the air, or 5H.
Right. Yeah. I know chat's probably definitely be like, well, the hardest part is not necessarily blocking. I mean, it's a part of it, but also it's really hard to be like to deal with the sword in general. Like, once it's just like this is actually just really hard for a lot of characters to deal with. I think, right? Just just doing hard slash from full screen.
Oh yeah, that move is really good, man.
yeah, that's all it is. It's just a really good move, right?
But it's a really good move. Like, and if you have RC, you could combo into it.
Yeah.
You could do half circle forward, or sorry, quarter circle forward S, 5S, 2S, whatever you want after RC. It's so good. And he has an FRC out of it too, so you could opt for that. It's really late.
I did not know this existed. This is such a funky FRC. How do I do this one? I'm arrogant. I want to get it.
It's really, really late. It's like after the hit almost.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna get it. But that's really cool to know. Sorry, I'm just reading chat now at this point too. Isn't 2K and into 6P both lows?
Yes.
Yes. Those are his only lows. Like 2D, right? 2D? 2S is not a low if I recall. Or normal 2S.
2S is not a low.
Zappa's 2S.
That move, 2S is really good. That move has a lot of stun, like block stun, so you could do a lot of cool dog pressure with that.
It doesn't look like it has a lot of block stun, but I'm gonna believe you on it. It just looks like just a generic 2S looking to me, but it's funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if they're blocking, man, that thing. So it's pretty good. Like you could do that into delayed. Like I don't know if you're feeling ballsy, like do DP right after it.
You mean out of something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could just delay it. I mean, people if you're trying to catch them pushing buttons or something, you can do that. Or 2H. 2H is good too. It's spring trap. You can do 2S 2H. But if they're crouching, that combo is actually 2S 2H.
Yeah, I think the head bite does big stun value for some reason. If I recall. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think on normal Zappa, it has like a huge stun modifier. It's like
it's funny.
It's like double.
Yeah, I think Kenji already explained a lot right about how to deal with sword. That's gonna be a part 2, right? There's ways that for Zappa to figure out how to just be it. He's gonna. I mean, sword's good, right? That's we have to understand that. It's a strong poking tool. So. Alright, so Tono brought up, you can FTC normals to keep the sword in its relative... Is that true? The FTC cancel normals? You can FTC sword normals to keep the sword in its relative position, slightly adjusted up or down. What?
Yeah, you can.
I'm not gonna go for it. Also, the sword card special is optional follow-up. Yeah, we talked about the follow-up to it. To do it? So, am I supposed to do that on stream? You just mash?
Just roll your cheeks on the button. Where you push.
I also don't know what I'm looking for. Like, what do I?
Dude,
am I doing good? I don't know what I'm doing.
So which one are you trying to do again?
Oh, I just wanted to see how you FTC cancel sword normals, but I'm not gonna.
I don't mess with that.
Oh really?
But yeah, I never mess with that.
Oh, that Hono's giving you more tech. Good job, Hono. You doomed us all. I mean, of course. I mean, I'm on the idea that it's a good sword. You gotta deal with it. But is there any questions you guys want to ask Kenji, like generally about Zappa before I guess we start the matchup chart? Because that's actually the goal of today.
I mean, if you guys have more questions, like, free to answer them. I mean, I can't go into, like, what the combos are.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think people might have, like, specific questions to pursue, but if it's always sword, I'm gonna be sad. I think you did a pretty good job explaining sword. I know there's definitely the part, like, where it's gonna feel oppressive for people to try to get in, but that's just kind of how it's gonna be. And you might have to lab that out. Kenji, who is your favorite Contra Hard Corps character, and why are they broken?
Contra Hardcorps. Brownie is my favorite. I think it's pretty OP. Brownie's pretty awesome, man. He's tiny. He's got like the smallest survival. He's like a Zappa in Contra. He could just dodge everything.
I guess, is there any like you want to talk about the summons individually a little bit? Because we did Sword pretty well. I think you did a pretty good job with Sword. Anything else you want to say about the Ghost or? You know what? Because I think they came in a little bit later, so I didn't hear us like talking about Rao and stuff earlier. So you might have to repeat yourself again. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
So just in any order, just kind of.
Let's go by the number of heads. So let's start with Dog or Sword. We did Sword already. So yeah, just Dog and Ghost would be. Yeah.
I guess I could. Let's start with the Sword since it's like the most obvious.
Okay, I have that too. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so Sword is basically kind of like it's both like a pressure tool and also like a zoning tool.
Yeah.
And he has like really crazy like mix-ups from full screen, near full screen, because the Sword actually doesn't go full screen.
Yeah, it stops. It won't go beyond this range, will it? Like if I do anything like.
Yeah, so maybe it's about 90% of the screen. There's like a dead zone in front of me.
You can see it slowly pushing back as I try to hit Kai from here. It's like pushing me out.
Yeah, so when you pressure, you have to kind of inch your way forward, and that's how you get his Sword stuff started. But yeah, it's really good. It's got a DP pretty fast. He's got a lot of good anti-airs with it.
Oh, I have a question about the DP, if you don't mind. Does the DP always hit in front of Zappa? Like, is it always gonna be right in front of him, like regardless of where the Sword's at?
So so you know when you have the Sword out like full screen, and you call it DP.
Yeah.
The hitbox moves to the angle where you're standing.
So it's gonna move backwards accordingly.
Yeah, so if you extend it like super high, like on top of the screen from far away, like do 2H and then like call it back, it'll move at a diagonal, like 45 degree.
Oh well, that's weird. Huh. But the hitbox is still going to be like directly in front of Zappa, right? Like even though the Sword
it's going to be wherever the Sword is going, but usually it's in front of them.
Okay, that's interesting to know.
It's pretty good. Like you can check people if they're trying to IAD after like a loose Sword pressure. You know, they manage to get out. You could call it back to make them fall back down and restart your pressure potentially. So yeah, it's good uses. The Sword swipe, that cross slash is crazy. Hits from like half screen. You get 1 orb per hit.
That's the trolley.
Can you can
How scummy is that? You still get an orb even on OTG, right? Oh, it is a combo though. Never mind.
You can do summon on the ground.
Oh, that's cool.
Like OTG with summon, like dash up summon. I don't know if you knew this too. Like with Zappa, if you dead angle on regular hit, right? You get to OTG them after it. But it won't OTG if it's a counter hit dead angle attack. Which is kind of interesting.
That's really, so on counter you don't get the OTG summon, but if you on normal hit you do? Is that what I just
on normal dead angle attack, you can get the OTG, but on counter hit it whips completely. Like they're
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. It's an easy way to get a counter hitter. Well, that's so weird. The timing looks identical. That's so weird. I wonder if they just hit the floor faster. I don't know.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I just did it just on stream right now. Just now, I was like, that's really weird looking. That's something to be really mindful of. You guys are aware of that too, because then you know you can't actually go in for a dash up summon. Do you ever make the mistake and go for the summon anyway?
I just go for it because it just puts me closer to them with potentially a dog, right? Like let's say I got a dog or a sword randomly, puts me in a spot. So it's still pretty good. You just don't get the OTG, but it's just a little annoying sometimes because sometimes you wish you could do OTG so you could do a big combo, but it's still good.
Yeah, that's cool. Anything else you want to say about Sword?
I think no, it's just a really strong.
We've all felt the power of the Sword. I'm pretty sure.
Sword is pretty good, yeah. But he does have weaknesses to it. Like some characters actually deal with it pretty well, right? Like characters with reversals like Axel,
Oh, Justice too, I guess, right? If she does it right.
Justice 2, Testament,
Oh yeah, Testament's
Cliff.
probably a really big deal too, right? Because like,
Mhm. Also Cliff too. Like Cliff can avoid those during pressure to catch the make me whip, and there's like the huge recovery frame, and I don't know. He's got a lot of all those characters have ways to get out of sword. Much Baiken too, obviously.
I know, yeah.
That matchup is rough, dude.
Sorry, what? I didn't hear you.
That's a rough matchup for Zappa.
Testament.
End up looking like a
Yeah,
sideshow freak, jumping around,
that's what I got. Like, that's the
just
only thing I
trying
can
to
really say. Like, if I had to, when I think about sword, I just go, if I can make it whiff, I can take my turn. That's like the hardest part, though, making it whiff, right? His sword attacks
Mhm.
have so much recovery. I didn't realize
So
too
much
that the
recovery.
sword. It's if you get past the sword doesn't come back. You have to commit to a DP if you really want to protect yourself. Basically, at that
Yeah, you gotta
point.
commit. Yeah, you have to commit to a DP, so you have to react to how the opponent's moving in the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if they don't jump and they're just trying to run past the sword, you could do. Zappa can do 2-3-6S.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a safest option, right? If you have to actually go for an attack
Mhm.
when you're in trouble.
No, for sure, and it's better
Yeah.
when you have a meter, so you can either FRC it or RC it to continue
Ooh,
pressure.
when you said this as an FRC, I actually kind of why? I'm like, fine, you deserve this. You've been bad for so long. All right, cool. That's counter four frames. They're all the same. Like frames with the counters. Go for blood. Counter everything. If you're fighting something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zappa's pretty wild, man. Like his frame data is crazy too. Like it changed a lot of stuff.
that's what I was wondering about.
Since
Because I was like looking at his numbers the other day to like prepare for like this. I was like, his numbers seem pretty solid. Solid is questionable,
all
right?
yeah, always he's well rounded even when he's like naked, right? Like he
Yeah.
is his normals are super good. Like 6P is insane.
Yeah.
And also yeah, the fact that DP is full body invul, like, dude, seriously?
Was it never? I used to be able to throw it if I recall correctly. I'm almost positive it used to not be
Yeah,
full.
I think you could throw the startup because it's not like full, it's not really like an invincible DP at the time. It's just like a good hitbox, right? So
Yeah, you also would trade with it often. I remember like, this is back in the day. This is like when Zappa was like just out. Like
oh,
he was,
yeah.
yeah,
So
it would trade like all the time, like kind of like Axel
I
style.
would
Like,
yeah, I would buff for double DPs every time I wake up, just in case it clashes. So I get the second DP just in case.
mm-hmm. um, yeah, cool. Do you want to talk about the other summons?
Oh yeah, sure.
Uh,
So dog,
dog, huh? I have no
dog
idea.
is pretty awesome. Like dog is really good at controlling neutral really well on screen.
Yeah,
Like also uh, crazy combos. Like you could do these high pressure like block strings, these sandwich block strings into high low mix ups.
I didn't
Um,
realize Zappa's jumping hard slash pulls in. It's another asshole move. Or pull
yeah,
like,
it pulls in, yeah, dude, it pulls in the direction where he's facing. But yeah, the dog definitely does a lot of damage. He cranks up wrist meter really, really well. If they're blocking, and then if you get a setup that puts him in a corner, you could do some crazy combos like 5H and hits him crouching. You could do 5D with the dog to neck extension and run in. You could do 2S, 2H, delayed 5D, run in 2S, 2H.
I'm like,
That what
yeah.
he does.
I'm just like, yeah, that's a lot of
Percent.
buttons to press right now. I'm like, let me try that. I'm like, no. Yeah,
Yeah, I think the dog is also probably technically the hardest summon. Like there's so much to consider while you're playing, like the positioning of the dog, how many times the dog attacked, right? Like you're really timing the
it can only do
number
twice,
of
right? 2 times in a row, if I recall.
yeah,
Or is
so
it?
you can do two of them consecutively,
But he gets
but
tired
also
afterwards, right?
yeah, he does like a little bit of cooldown, maybe like 1 second or 1.5 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I see
And
it.
so you got to time your block string with every dog bite, so it's not cooling down at all, right? So it's just
Yeah.
basically reset. So you always have a stock of a dog attack um, during those situations. So yeah, so a lot of my stuff I would do with the dog, I try to sandwich them between them, and I usually do like some pressure into 5D, like 5P2K, 5S, 5S, and then 5D, run back in after the dog bite and do another pressure combo,
Right,
and then try to go
I'm
for
doing something really. Um, What are your how are your options for trying to get that? Because as you do block strings, right, you're gonna push them away from the dog. How would you like to try to reset that distance so the dog can keep pressure
Oh
going?
man, yeah, I
Is,
wish I
is,
could
is,
do.
if this is a bag of worms, I won't press you into it because I I can see this is definitely just learn Zappa at that point.
I wish I could. There's a way to play. What is that? Use your screen or something to show the stuff.
I'm like
Um,
we could remote
but
play
yeah,
on
I mean,
Steam. But yeah, that'd be pretty funny actually.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, his dog is really good, really strong pressure. He's got an overhead attack with 4DD, so he's got
Sorry, we'll move forward. Oh, forward D. This one, right?
yeah. So if you do, so basically back D. So if you do the dog attack, right? You do
Yeah.
5D.
5D is the lunge, right? Or 5D is the skull head, right? And then
The skull head, yeah.
yeah.
So 5D is the skull head, the one that extends the neck, and that's basically 60. So you do 60, 60, and then it'll bounce back every time. But you can also do 4D after that. So after you do the 60, do 4D.
That's the hop backwards.
No. So hit. So do 60 and then do 4D. No, that's 5D. Oh
Uh,
wait, you know what? I'm looking at your stream and it's like 10 seconds late. It's 10 seconds
oh,
later.
here,
So
I get. So okay, so
sorry.
60 is the lunge forward, right? Or lunge forward, right? Yeah. 60 is lunge. Is that what you're saying? Do 60 and then 4D to make him go. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do the dive bomb attack, right? To reposition. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, because you're doing the
Yeah, you
air.
can do
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
dive bomb
yeah.
attack.
Or you want to make it whip
But
though, right? Yeah. Or
But yeah, that 4D is actually an overhead. So you can actually do unblockables with it. So if you time it right during the pressure and you call it with the 4D, you could do 2K or 6P if you wanted to, and
oh, yeah, I'm seeing it.
it'll combo. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there you go. I just did really ghetto-ly. It's a lot of recovery though. Looks like. Well, if I mean, doing it from the 60, it
Yeah,
looks pretty
there's
easy though. It looks pretty consistent to get an unblockable. I didn't know it was actually still an overhead. I thought they were gonna get rid of that. I thought wrong.
they kept it. Yeah, see, and a lot of the GP players likes to use the double 4Ds. So they do like just 4D, 4D, and then do it again.
Oh, for two
So they
overheads, or yeah, it'd be two,
two
right?
overheads, yeah. So increases their chances of getting low during the pressure.
That's scummy.
It's so annoying. Like it's so dirty.
I guess
Uh,
So we talked about the offensive power. What do you find to be like the weakness of the dog? Besides, I'm guessing it just can't move very quickly.
the dog,
If it has any weaknesses.
he does have weaknesses, but I think he's actually, man, I don't know. He's like, in my opinion, I think dog is like one of the better summons. Like,
Yeah, I think people will agree too.
so after playing it for a while, I think the dog is actually stronger than the sword in terms of like consistent pressure and also like the opponents not being able to actually play right.
You do
Like
actually get
there's
unblockables out of it too. Yeah,
and you get yeah, and he has high lows, like pretty solid high lows. Yeah, I
that's.
don't know.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
that's
the
also
dog
too. Right?
better.
Yeah, what's it? How do you keep the dog from falling asleep? Because like
Well, you get it. So if you're so let's say if the opponent's like full screen and your dog is like just chilling, can't really get there, you don't want to kill it, by running into a projectile like high
yeah,
stunnage.
right.
You could do 40, just do 40 once with the dog,
Oh,
and
just
it'll
roll.
do like a backflip.
Is it invulnerable during the backflip?
The whole duration's invincible. So if you're afraid of it cooling down, just do a backflip to reset the clock. Um, and also maybe it might be better to do it because it'll bring it closer to you. If it's actually closer to you, then I would do it. But if the dog is behind you, I would definitely use like 60, even if that sacrifices the dog, because you could probably punish the recovery frames
Yeah,
after the dog.
you force a trade basically doing the dog and just dashing in
Yeah,
with
you
it. Yeah.
basically force the trade. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So,
So basically, what we learned is dog is dumb. It's
dog
always
is
been
yeah.
dumb. If you guys haven't realized, it's always been kind
Um,
of pretty absurd. It just got better as people learn more stuff with it. I would say.
well, even in the older XX games, I thought the dog was like one of his better summons. Like it was so good.
Wasn't the bite also just unblockable back there? Hey, Uku, hope you're having a good day. Talking to Kenji right now about Zappa. Is dog
Yeah, the
building you
dog.
lots of burst weakness if you aren't already dead? Does it build you? Oh yeah, because you do Zappa doesn't do a whole lot of damage, right? So you are building a lot of burst on the opponent, I guess.
Yeah, I think yeah, the dog back in the AC days used to do unblockables with the bite, like 2D or 2A, or sorry. Oh no, it's 2D. Yeah, 2D is the big chomp the dog does.
Yeah.
That used to be unblockable, but now what it does is gives you one orb per bite, but every other bite. So let's say if you do one bite and
What?
you
I didn't
do
know.
yeah, so it's every other bite it gives you one orb because you can't do it in the same set of consecutive dog attacks.
Oh, okay. I see what
Yeah,
you
so if
mean.
you do 2D twice, it won't give you two orbs. It'll just give you one.
Oh, or it has to be one like one fresh. Oh my bad about this. If you do twice. Oh yeah, it's interesting. Makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. I think you did well.
So it also has a lot of block stun. Like, dude, that chomp basically gives you free whatever you want to do if they block it. Like, you could do whatever you want for that duration. I think it's
Right.
like a level, maybe a level five. Um,
That's a level 5, and you guys aren't really realizing like, well, it's a free action, right? Because you can still move around while you're doing it too, and that's a lot of
mhm.
blocks in the deal. Like you could do
Oh
basically
yeah,
anything from
on
it.
block it makes that a chunk.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna be watching either a combo movie or be able to or not in theater. Man, he's got some nasty stuff out of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
but yeah.
but I would say dog is dude. I think it's one of his best summons for sure. If it wasn't for sword, because I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the sword is good, and you should get him in the corner, but the dog is good anywhere on the screen, like
Hmm.
right next far away, like. And then if he's far away from the opponent, behind him like that, you can actually force them to hit you, so you can block their attack, and then while you're blocking, you input the 6D with the dog, so it comes from behind them, so it hits them.
I know this feeling too.
Yeah.
This is pain. It's actually like this way. I just realized the dog pushes you towards. If it's behind, it actually pushes you
Yeah.
towards. Yeah.
So there's times when people are playing super aggro and I have the dog out and they're thinking, oh, I'm gonna do, I'll just do 60 while they're attacking, and then that gives me opportunity. Even if they're blocking,
Hmm.
let's say so they're like, oh shit, he's gonna call the dog. They block. Zappa could actually do a free block string into resetting the dog cooldown. So it's basically either way, he's gonna get free access to either pressure or a combo, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Dog is good, man. Like it just takes a lot of patience using him, I think.
Yeah. It definitely requires like a
Yeah.
certain like play style, like because like if you want to be super aggressive, you have to realize you're only aggressive when the dog is like actually doing the aggression for you. I guess. Uh.
Mhm.
uh
Yeah, I mean, to me when I use the dog, it's like once you get him in the right position or the dog in the right position, it's
mhm.
basically muscle memory. I'm playing like a rhythm game or something. I'm just like remembering what to do because there's so much shit going on. You just have to memorize
Yeah.
those patterns and options and just go with it.
Yeah. All the positionings you have to learn too, right? Like where the dog needs to get, how to get the dog
Mhm.
over there too. Because he, yeah. I'm not gonna go too much into it because I'm not qualified to tell people how to do Zappa things.
Yeah, Zappa's ridiculous.
I
He
guess
was never this good though. Outside of AC and plus R, like he was okay. Like he still can deal with like even top tiers and stuff. But man, the amount of work and chance, it seems like the gamble is way against him. The odds are against Zappa and the older ones. Like the sword wasn't good at all. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah.
basically just giving him bigger limbs. And he was like, here are bigger limbs, but it doesn't fly across the screen. It was like right next to you. Um, but the sword did get better in Slash. Like it started to move a little bit further each time. So that was a pretty good improvement
Right.
and
And
made it
then
playable.
AC, I can't even tell you the difference between like AC plus R.
I thought AC by design for him was like his strongest one, right?
Yeah.
Like, and also more balanced than where he is now currently. Like this one is like the designers just said, this is the last game we're gonna do. We're effing tired. We're working on
Everyone put
exit or
something in the
whatever.
hat, and this is what your character gets. Basically, that's
Yeah,
my.
it's like guys getting drunk. I don't know
Yeah.
what they were doing, but they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna put everything in. It's like Rainbow Edition, Street Fighter 2, Rainbow
Oh yeah,
Edition
yeah. That's how
Zap.
it feels, right? Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Should we do for just tougher time? You want to just move on to Ghost real quick?
Oh yeah, the Ghost, the triplets.
All I
Triplets
know
are
is
good.
all I know is jumping car slash is kind of an annoying move to deal with once on pressure. Cross up.
Yeah. So a lot of his normals with the Ghost are mainly for pressure, right?
Yeah.
So when you the instant you get Ghost, your goal is to actually get them cursed first. Like you want to get them cursed
Right.
because when they get cursed, you can work with the items that come out and screen randomly.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like banana peels, you get flower pots, like right there, golf balls, and I think that's the level 3. Like, so if you block that, you're
Mm-hmm.
basically going to be able to do high-low mix-ups when they block it. So you want to coordinate with the curse items to uh, when you could go in, when you want to extend your combos, because with the golf balls you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Banana peels, you can if they're sitting in front of you, you could just kind of wait behind it
Right.
and make the move race because they obviously can't go forward, right? They got to jump forward. But with Zappa, with the ghost, you could do up ghost or you could do air throw. So
Right. Yeah.
so he has a lot of ways to control the screen with depending on the items you get. But the only one I think is still difficult to work with is the flower pot. Like I just hate that. It's good, but I also hate it because
You can't see it coming
you'll
or
be doing
what?
like the
Oh.
yeah, because you'll be doing the combo and then the flower pot randomly knocks you out of the combo, right? You still get hard knockdown, but it's there was something more optimal you could have done instead of that. It's just like shit.
Oh, so it'll always force them to the floor, right? So it's basically just always going to ruin your combo no matter what, then if it lands.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's a hard knockdown, so it's not bad, right?
Right. But your chance of damage just disappears immediately. That kind of fun. That's funny. Uh yeah, basically I just know this as like the kind of the zoner one, right? Uh does this have any weaknesses in particular that you're aware of?
Zappa's weaknesses, I
During the
think
go the ghost, yeah.
so a lot of his weakness comes from the matchup understanding of the opponent with
Mm,
Zappa, right? So um like Zappa's DP is really good. Obviously, he has a large horizontal hitbox,
right.
vertical too, and it's fully invincible. But
Dumb,
you
that
know,
shit made me
a lot
mad.
of get cursed and hit by Zappa don't respect his wake up options. You like sometimes he won't wake up with the DP because he'll get a random one chosen for him.
Oh,
So he,
right. That'll
right,
ruin your thing, right?
yeah. So sometimes you might try to do DP and then no moves come out, or sometimes you do up ghost by accident. So, but still, like the chance of him getting a DP uh, on his wake up, and he didn't respect that zone when he can do it, or where he
Mm-hmm.
could do it, and then the range, like that could be the game that ends that match, right?
Yeah.
That
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 hit, right? That
yeah,
one hit.
the DP,
I forgot about
yeah,
that,
because he
right?
could or a dog instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like holy shit, like think it's like a golden ticket almost.
Mm-hmm.
So on wake up against Zappa, you have to like respect the DP range at all
Right.
times. So let's say you're Kai, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's better to just be out of the DP range and just do like charge stunnage
You're right. Yeah. Let him take it.
or aerial stunnage, yeah, and just either have the Zappa try to summon and it's he presses and projectiles hitting him, or if he doesn't get one, then he's gonna block some. But when he does DP, you're not getting attacked. So the key is to just basically just don't go in all the time on on his wake up, and it'll make a huge difference on how you approach it.
Yeah, I think this one of the scariest things is watching him get a wake up dog and the dog eating your hit. Oh.
Or let the Zappa player hang themselves, right? Like if they like to DP a lot, like dash at DP, just block a little more against those situations in neutral. Because if he's unsummoned, there's a good chance he's going
They
to
just
dash
wanna.
up DPS.
Yeah, we're talking about Zappa today, and yeah, this character is pretty wild, man. Pretty wild.
He and also I think his other weakness too, like the other factors. I was going to go over that in the matchup stuff,
Yeah, you
but
want to just move over to matchups? And I know we skipped a round and stuff. Do you want to just move over for?
yeah, we could just go through
Yeah,
those
okay.
real quick.
All right, wait. Well, check out the sweet ass layout I made for you. Definitely because I care about
Okay.
chat. Da da da. It's gonna show up in 10 seconds for you, so just
All right.
be like, wow, be
Yeah, I'm
impressed.
still waiting. Your stream is still like in training mode.
Is it? Yeah, I just swapped it over like 4 seconds ago, maybe. I'm waiting for chat to be like, wow, Pulsar, you tried so hard. I'm
Oh,
like, yeah,
look
I
at
did.
that.
Look at that,
Oh, that's
right?
super fancy.
And then it
Does
only
he even
goes up
have
to chip
Zappa's head
for
turning
yeah.
on the left side? Dude, you went all out, man.
I
This is
went in,
awesome.
man. All right, so yeah, we're
You
gonna
went
talk about Zappa's matchup charts. I'm gonna just go real quick. I think so. Zappa's probably one of the strongest characters in the game, right? Like easily one of like You can't really argue against that anymore. I'm sorry. Well, unless Justice is truly the best character in the game. Tron, wink, 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 wink. Mech, wink, 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 wink. I mean, it really can be, man, at this point, because I think Justice still has room for like improvement, right? For me at least, right? So I can see like upper ceiling of that character being a lot higher. Numbers make me scared. You must endure. You must endure. All right. So yeah, let's start with Soul. What do you got for Soul then?
So let's see. I gave Soul. I think.
These are.
Hold on.
I'm gonna find more. I don't even know where. Oh, there you are. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
blue, 5.5.
5.5. Yeah, it's 5.5. In Zappa's favor.
Yes.
I feel because I feel like it's not terrible for Soul, but I think Zappa has a lot of good options against Soul, especially with like once he gets Sword. All his summons actually work well in that matchup, right? Gosu kind of shut his air game down. Even as the ground game, if he's trying to do Grand Viper, actually the Ghost, if you have the Ghost, you could do 236K, does the ground bounce one. That'll actually stuff the Grand Viper. So he has a lot of good options, or like Bandit Bringer, that'll hit Bandit Bringer in the air. And his sword obviously just makes it really hard for him to get in. And also his dog actually works really well, like more like a meat shield,
Yeah,
like
that's what I was saying. Like,
gunplay.
Soul has like a lot of moves that have a lot of recovery, right? So if the dog takes a single
Yeah.
hit, like Soul's like, oh
Yeah. So if I notice like a Soul player and I'm watching their meter and they're like full screen away and they have no way to FRC the gunflame, I'll meat shield the gunflame and then just keep running if the dog is in front of me, and then just get another knockdown combo, resummon, and most likely they're going to be in corner or close to the corner. So yeah, so it's a lot of awareness, but it's also Soul though. Like on the other hand, he has like he has a fireball that covers the ground level, right? So Zappa can't really dash in.
Yeah.
He has to move in the air, and Soul has like really good anti-airs and throw options. So he has like 5K, and that beats basically every single one of Zappa's air normals. So Soul is really good, like on the ground when Zappa's in the air.
Right.
So it's kind of like still in Zappa's favor though, because he has a lot of like his tools are really good in general. Like once he gets to summon, but when he's naked, it's no way. There's no way. You definitely need to summon all times.
Oh really? Is it really hard for naked Zappa?
Oh yeah. Well, why risk, dude? If Soul randomly hits you with something and he has like 25% tension, dude, yeah, doesn't matter. Like you always want to have summon just so you can start your momentum. You want to start early in the Zappa, but yeah, Soul does really well. Like I said, good fireball to control Zappa's neutral game. Right. He would either have to have a dog to sacrifice, or if he has a ghost, I mean, no, it's fine. It's like just block the ghost when he throws him out. But yeah, I say it's like a 5-5, 4-5 matchup.
I guess I believe it. I believe it.
And then also Soul's damage is good. Like Soul's damage against Zappa's good. Safe jump. He's got safe jump setups that work really well against Zappa to bait out the DP. Yeah, I mean whoever gets the momentum first, but I just think Zappa edges it because of the summons, right?
Right.
So really good at controlling neutral.
And I think Soul also can't like outright like murder you, like until he has meter, right? Until he has meter, he's probably
he needs meter. He definitely needs meter.
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to FD a lot of things on his way in. Typically, right, once you get a summons, like he's probably not even gonna have meter all the time. Yeah, that's a rough scenario. I see.
Yeah, and the thing is, he always has to go in like just like he's always like in a danger zone. Like Soul is constantly putting him in danger when Zappa has a summon. Like even if let's say if I just pressure you out with any of the summons, like they all have options to stop them. Like sword, ghost, dog. Like, they all work really well.
Yeah.
So you want to move on to Kai?
Yeah, just go at your pace, man. Just go. I'm gonna be like cool. Yeah, because I can't say anything about Zappa realistically. I'm like sword good. That's basically what my comment would be. Basically. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to Kai.
Well, yeah, but also taking into consideration that I mean, some people might feel like, oh, these are 7-3. It feels like 7-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But Zappa's RNG factor too has a play in it, because let's say if you were to be in a matchup against like Potemkin, and all I got was Ghost, right? That matchup would be complete. That's like a complete uphill battle for Zappa at that point,
Right.
because there are moments where you will get the summons that you don't want often, right? So like, but you just have to either unsummon and gamble for another one, or you go by the the clock and stuff. But yeah, so a lot of these, with Soul, right? Like let's say if I got the summon I don't want immediately, and I needed something better, like a sword, just to finish the match. But Soul, and then Soul just comes back, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of factors that goes into the RNG that can weigh things. Like
Yeah.
you know,
I can see like where somebody's like kind of detrimental to like how fast you can close out a match, right? You might not, you just can't even close it out because you have like the wrong summon at the wrong time, right? You're like, ah, that can be really frustrating. And that, okay, cool.
So for Kai, I gave them 6-4.
Ukyo.
Zappa Fever.
Yeah.
I think so. Here's the thing, right? Like Kai is a good character. Like he has tons of good moves, like tons of tools. But what sucks about this is like, so what he's lacking compared to Soul is like his fireball. And Kai has a good fireball, but Zappa can run under it.
I was about to say, that's what happens, man. Yeah.
Yeah, charge stunnage. He can run under that. He also can run under the aerial ones too, like easily, a lot easier than most characters. And he could just zip right through it, like kind of like Robokai when he does missiles, right? You could just dash under him. Yeah, and you could just air throw Kai. You could just soup him easily. Like he's in such a high recovery. But yeah, so I would say it's pretty much the same as like Soul, right? Like he has good normals, he has good damage output, good pressure. But when it comes to like controlling ground neutral, like Kai lacks in that heavily against Zappa. Because if I could just run under all this stuff, then he shouldn't be doing fireballs unless he's going to FRC it and then try to do something like 2 West. But just to see if he's going to get a hit in and sacrificing 25% tension, that's asking a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it's rough, right? It's really rough.
Ukyo, how much worse do you feel when you have to use 2S versus FRS? Because I still feel like 2S is a pretty solid normal. Talking to Ukyo real quick about this Kai situation. I think this match is pretty rough because the running is like a nightmare. It's a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, it's a really rough matchup for Kai. I think he could still win. Like it's still a winnable matchup, but you can't opt for summage often, especially from full screen and stuff. Like Zappa just gets under that super easy with any summons too. And then the other thing is all his summons actually do well against Kai. Like all of them actually have really good uses in every situation, similar to Soul. So yeah.
Do you ever call out because Kai doesn't have to use 2S on you, right? Do you ever call them out with doing like a dash 5K and just ruin their day?
Oh yeah. I like using Dude, dash 5K is so good. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And you get a hard knockdown. You could do OTG summon, right? So you get an orb, you might get a sword or possibly a ghost and just curse them. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I guess matchup. Sorry, go for it.
Sorry.
Now let me mention this real quick. So yeah, if you don't know, Kai or not Kai, but for Zappa, his 5P basically is lower body invul, and it's very, very generous, I would say, with how much low invul it has. And then his 6P is upper body invul, so he can definitely like kind of put you in really awkward poking situations if he really, really wants to. Just mentioning that out. Sorry about that. Wait, so what you got?
So yeah, May. I think the main matchup is like not bad for May. I feel like Zappa though has like a lot more control when he gets started. But sometimes it can be really oppressive for her, especially when it's like dog. I think the dog is like, and then the ghost too as well. Like ghost options shuts down a lot of her air mobility, right? R/ghost, P ghost is really good. So yeah, I think in this matchup it's more in Zappa's favor. But once May gets in, she has a lot of good tools to just mess his day up. You know what I mean? Like really easily. So I don't think it's that terrible for May. Like her normals are really good against all Zappa's air normals. There's no way to contest them as Zappa. So you have to like opt for just staying on the ground a lot and hopefully you get like a good summon. But most of the time, all the summons actually do really well. Some not as strong as others, like Sword actually is not as good against May in the corner because she can actually Yeah, because I think it's just like her box or something. It's really weird, but it's hard to keep her in pressure. And her jump is really good. Her super jump.
Oh yeah, without a
So
doubt,
if
it's
you
really good.
yeah, her super jump is really good. But Dog and Ghost are really solid against her. Like they control neutral really well in every aspect. But yeah, it's May. We got Milia.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave her a 5. She's really good. A lot of good Milia players will tend to like knock you down, and then they know that you're either going to DP or something, so they'll do like uh, disc, and they'll just sit there, just wait, just waiting for it to DP so you can eat that. And if you don't, she just goes back into Bad Moon or 2K or whatever. It's really rough. Like hairpin actually does really well when you hit Zappa with the hairpin. Like she gets a
Mm-hmm.
lot of options. And it's a lot of hard call out for Zappa too. So if the Milia player is very familiar with the matchup, she'll just block a lot. But she has a lot of good Okazumi stuff to handle Zappa's shenanigans on his OP.
I'm trying to think. How does Pin also troll you like it trolls every other character? I imagine it does.
Oh, what is it?
Does Pin still cause an issue for you as well? She just throws hairpins at you all day.
Oh, hairpins. Yeah, yeah. Hairpins are a problem for Zappa. Um, because he basically has to take it. He has to really like deal with that. And if he's like summoned already, like he already has a summon.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
can't
I guess that being
DP.
bad. It could be really bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it could be really bad because well, I can't DP. I already have a summon. I could do a super or something right during those things, but it's like I don't want to use 50%. Rather use it for like dead angle, maybe dead angle and stuff. But uh, yeah. So usually the hairpin's used when Zappa has a ghost out already of some any kind, and then once he gets blocking with a hairpin, he can't summon, so he's going to take in a combo. Yeah, and he can't. And then it's hard for Zappa to fight Milia when you think it too. So
No, I can man. That sounds pretty rough. Like, what are you gonna do? You basically have to just raw summon, basically, and just go for the best or timer summon.
yeah,
Zappa discussion
and
with the
then
nicest FGC person, Kenji. That is true. It's easier to set up SG against Zappa after sweep too because he wakes up slow. Oh, is that true? Do you wake up slower than normal
he wakes up
characters?
slower.
Oh, that means Sacred Garden must be actually can be a problem.
Oh
Or
yeah.
oh, that sucks. No one wants that.
But yeah, her movement is really good too. Like
Right.
her super jump, double air dash avoids a lot of like. Let's say if he gets sword and he's just trying to pressure you, you manage to escape. You could just double dash out of the corner, and now I have to reposition my sword. So now I'm like, shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to slide
Yeah.
towards you, and she could just do it again. Do it again. Like Dizzy can do the same thing. She could keep away from dealing with sword the whole entire day.
Oh, I see that. I'm looking forward to that Dizzy one. That's one of the red ones you got going on there. I
Oh
see.
yeah. So we got Eddie. I put that 5-5, 4-5 in
Interesting,
Zap.
interesting. Like,
It's I think it's not as bad as people think, right? Like my Eddie players might think it's like terrible, but I think it's actually not that bad for Eddie. Because once Zappa starts blocking, like he's basically just like anyone else, and he can't in his wake up options. Like the Eddie player can basically just bait the DP by staying out of range, and then just do drill, right? Just to put him in check. So,
yeah.
but I think Zappa's vomit and other things though makes it really hard. Like Ghost is really hard on Eddie because he can't just summon randomly. Because if he starts blocking, he has to constantly refill the meter to get Eddie out. And his vomit kills Eddie when he's like coming towards me, and it's since the vomit when it hits the ground is low and it's like active.
Oh, I have a quick question
Slightly
about
longer.
vomit. Do you mind?
Mm-hmm.
Can vomit be 2 hits or is it only one? Is it only ever one? So it has to travel and it has the floor hitbox too, right? So if you block
No,
it,
it's one hitbox. It's one. It's one move, right? It's like
okay,
so. It's
okay,
like yeah. It's so it starts like the aerial hitbox.
and then
When it
it,
hits the ground, it turns into like a low property puddle.
okay, yeah. Just making sure. I was
Yeah.
like, didn't want to be like crazy about that. Okay, that was for me. That was just for me. Sorry about that. You just ruined your Eddie talk.
I mean, vomit's cheap. I think it's a pretty good move, man.
I think some
um,
characters cannot deal with it, like, or they have to really work for it to just get around it. Because it's a good move.
oh
It's
yeah,
a good
because
move. Hmm?
it's kind of like a projectile, right? But it's
Right.
like a punch. It's like a floating punch, like a fist. Um,
That turned
yeah,
into a
it clashes.
low.
Yeah, the thing is, it clashes easily too, right? Like it clashes
Yeah,
easily with. Um, but yeah, when it turns into a low, it does a hard knockdown, and you can actually do OTG summon,
right.
so you get a free summon after that. Um, but yeah, like I'm saying, the puddle actually kills the shadow because it's just active for a long time, and it forces any player to avoid the puddle, but at the same time, it's losing the shadow meters, so
Right.
it's definitely a problem. Um, and the ghosts in particular, I think, are the strongest, and the dog work really well against Sato. The sword is okay, like the sword is really well too, but the ghost, especially, I think, is the culprit that causes Eddie a lot of pain because if you just block a random ghost or even get hit by one, you're not going to summon for a very long time,
Right.
like
All
because
like pots
random
and
objects
pans.
on the screen, flower pots. Yeah, you say, oh, I could finally summon, and then a flower pot comes in, like directly above you, right? And
Right.
you're forced to either block and you lose your summon. So it's kind of a pain in the ass with that.
I can
But I
see
think he
it.
could deal with most other stuff just fine. Sword he could deal with. Like he has like really good air mobility for that. The thing. Dog too. He could do. I think he could deal with dog pretty well.
Yeah, because with the
But yeah,
drill
I think
or something, right? Yeah. Drill
yeah. So
something.
it's not like a terrible matchup for
Right.
Zato.
Zato is just not as strong as he once was, too, right? So
Yeah.
he doesn't kill you outright anymore. So this match, yeah, I can see it being skewed up in that way. Cool, cool.
All right. So Potemkin.
So six,
Uh,
huh?
yep. It's definitely bad. Oh man, this is a bad matchup for Potemkin. I feel overall like all the things are really good. I think the Ghost is the worst to use against Potemkin, right? Because he could just flick all day. But I don't know. The normals on the Ghost, like bar S and stuff, is really good at controlling Potemkin. If you have
Hmm.
full stock of Ghosts, things like Cold Spade could do like bar S, 236P, or not P but S. Uh, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to deal with that instead of just chucking ghosts at him and having him flick. But yeah, the sword definitely just man, that's like probably the worst thing that Potemkin has to deal with, in my opinion. Like yeah, because the sword you can't flick. It doesn't have a hurt box. You
Yeah, I
can't
was gonna say you
curse.
can't flip the sword, right? Yeah, oof.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to jump and whatever, do even heavenly try and get out of the corner, like there's a chance he might get clipped out. And if he did get past and try to do butt slam and go to the ground, I could just reposition my sword like instantly. Um, yeah, that's a really tough time for Potemkin with the sword. Like he can't really do much, but he has to play like, oh, I hope he does this at 5H and I do the hammerfall and then hopefully I go through it, right? Just close enough just to hit me or something, or even just to get out. But even then, it's like I could just reset my sword easily because he's so big. Like he's super big. Um, but everything else, I think the dog is. I don't know. I feel like aside from the sword,
Hmm.
Potemkin don't have such a difficult time with. The dog is definitely could give him a hard time, but I don't think it's as bad as the sword. Um, so yeah, I think the sword is definitely the culprit for Potemkin's
Yeah,
bad
I'm
matchup.
like, what do you do? Like, cause can he even do anything? Like, what are his options? Like, once he's stuck in the corner, you're just hitting the hard slash button on his face all day. Like, what do you do?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like once people get used, I mean, if you slash back
Oh, slash back
like
slide it might be a thing for
yeah,
him, right?
or half circle back hard slash, you can slash back that right, and then close in on Zappa. But even then, it's like pretty tough.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he has
oh,
to get it still, right?
I forgot his 5K actually goes over slide head too. So anytime I see
That's why
Potemkin,
Ukyo brought that up. He's like, I'm like, oh, it's darkness. I forgot about that.
yeah. So if he tries to do slide head, and I don't have a summon, like, oh, perfect. I could just do 5K and then summon. I got a summon for free. Or if I do have a summon, like the sword, if he tried to do slide head, I could just jump up and just slash and then just move the sword forward. There's just a lot of things that he has a hard time against Zappa. But
Hmm.
the thing is, if he gets to Zappa though, then he's pretty much dead because Zappa has to do a lot of hard callouts on his end
I have a question because I'm curious because like Zappa has like one of the best backdashes in the game, right? Without a doubt. Does the media still
Mhm.
hit you if you backdash? You know, it's like,
Yes.
wow, that's a meaty ass attack. I was curious.
Oh, wait,
Okay,
wait, wait. Are you saying if the opponent does a media attack on Zappa's backdash?
like let's say like no, I'm not talking specifically about like you get knocked down by Potemkin, right? And he does his meaty 5K on you. Can you backdash out of that? If you,
No, I don't. I, I tried many times and it wasn't successful. It's ridiculous.
yeah, that move was just actually ridiculous. I was just wondering if like Zappa had like that one saving
You're
grace on like
you're 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 really hard gambling for that. Like if you're trying to backdash it, you're like, all right, I know I'm gonna either get hit and get fucked up, or like
I
backdash
mean, yeah.
feel really cool about it for a few seconds, you know?
And then you see the kick hit you like 4 frames. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, no.
All right, I was hoping, man. I was hoping because I was like, damn. All right. Yeah, that sounds really bad for Potemkin, man. And that's what if you don't get sword? Then this matchup just looking really awful, pretty rough.
It can be rough. The ghost can be pretty rough. Like I said, he could just flick ghosts all the time. But I don't think Zappa has a lot of bad options though with the ghost against Potemkin. He just once you get in,
Mm-hmm.
you pretty much have to just manage like looking at his tension bar, see if he's going to dead angle or super or whatever. But yeah, just once you get in, Zappa's options to pressure is pretty crazy. So, but when that's the thing is like getting in is the hardest. But once you're there, it's not too bad.
Okay, okay. I got you on that. What?
Oh man, we're going to chip.
Yeah, this is pretty a doozy
I
for me. I was surprised to see this one. And
I hate this matchup.
is this more of a personal one,
this is a
or
hard
it's not?
matchup.
It's like a personal
Uh,
matchup issue, or do you think it's actually just really rough?
I I think it's specifically for Zappa, right?
Okay.
Chip just has a lot of great options. Like he's such a crazy character.
Yeah.
Um, he has really great normals, and his what is that Gamma Blade?
Mm-hmm.
So good, shutting down Zappa's options for like even if I try to do a DP, he could just call me out with the Gamma Blade from full screen.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I block, he still has options, right? Like it's just resetting neutral, but still he could teleport. He could do whatever he wants. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like the sword mix-ups, like he could hit because he has a decent enough backdash. If you IB like 5-8 or 2H and he do his backdash, you can escape pretty easily. Super jump away, really good air move. So
Right.
the
Triple
sword is
jump must be.
really actually.
Yeah.
If I hit with the sword, it's good for me. But a lot of times, good chip players will just avoid it completely. I feel like
Yeah.
my sword is like broken. It's like in a like this sword fucking sucks. The matchup.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, if he gets a read on it, he gets one teleport too, right? He gets to just free punish you on your sword attacks probably as well.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that sounds rough.
Yeah. But but the ghost, like the ghost is pretty good. Up ghost in particular, 236K S. Dog is pretty good too. He could manage to sandwich chip, but it's really really tough. Uh, I don't know, man. His Gamma Blade is a problem, dude. He could just spam that shit just to see if I'm gonna summon or not.
Mm-hmm.
And also on Oki, like he already wakes up, very slow, so it's hard for Zappa to time his meaty, and then not just that, but he could DP through a lot of his stuff, like Zappa's things with his force break DP.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that sounds could be really annoying too, right?
Dude, that thing is so good against Zappa. Like, yeah, yeah. I could try to do vomit from like over sweep range, and that DP will still hit me. I'm like, fuck. I'm dead.
That sounds rough. Yeah, that force break is wild. How far it travels horizontally too. Just like,
And he's like he recovers instantly, so there's no reason to not use it
yeah.
against Zappa.
I can see it's also being an issue like where your damage isn't very high either, so you're not killing Chip right very quickly. So
Yeah.
he
So if
can.
you're a chip player, you're just like, it's your sandwich between a dog, and you're like, hey man, I just want a DP out of this. Just try it. Like just try the force break DP.
There you go.
Get
You
out
heard
of
it from
there.
Kenji, man. Just force break DP, man. Build up 25%
Yeah.
meter and get all the mileage you can out of it.
Yeah. And also like, also I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but when Zappa has Ghost and he does jump 2S 5H in the
Mm-hmm.
air, jump H.
But yeah.
So it's like a little headbutt he does and then does exploding ghost. So any characters with DP can actually DP Zappa after that. jump 2s. So you could like
Really?
IB it. Yeah, it's not a true string. It's like a big gap. It's just people, when it's going crazy, all these objects, it's like, oh, he's doing this thing. I just gotta block it. You can actually instant block it and
Just
DP right
DP.
through it.
That's a
But I'm pretty
pretty
sure
instant
there's,
instant block, by the way. It's a pretty instant block in my opinion for the that too. I play characters on
but
DP, so I never thought about it.
I don't even think you have to instant block it. That's the thing. Like I think
Mhm.
you could just block it and just DP before the jump H hits. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, Chip just DPs through you and he just gets a big combo and I'm pretty much dead or stunned.
Poor Zappa. I don't believe I'm saying
Yeah.
poor Zappa, but it sounds pretty rough actually when I think about it.
It's not. It's definitely not fun. Like Chip, it probably feels like a normal game to him. He's like, oh man, why is people complaining about Zappa?
The more I think about it, the more I believe Chip might be like one of the best characters in the game, like top. Because
Yeah.
no one puts like I have a winning matchup against Chip. I'm pretty sure. That's what I think at least, but we'll see.
So we got Faust next. I
Yep.
think this is a pretty even matchup. Faust, he has really good tools. Like obviously his random items, right? It controls neutral really well. Meteors. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like all the good stuff, like the poison. Uh, his bomb bags are really good. But I think Zappa can handle Faust pretty well once he gets the right summon or the right momentum. It's like I feel like it's more of like a momentum game. Like whoever gets started first and getting the Oki started momentum, like they have the upper hand. Like Zappa can do that pretty quickly too. So for me, it's more like a tug of war, right? In the neutral, and whoever gets the first knockdown and the good summon or item, it's basically based on that.
Like you don't know, just do me a big favor for. I don't know how to Excel sheet, so I'm like, so yeah, no, you did me a big favor. Now, when you say like it's a race, I just realized too, you guys are both RNG characters, right? So it can go both ways very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on. It's funny because it's a match that depends a lot on what you get, right? Even for Faust, like if Faust is like, oh shit, I got 3 meteors or 4 meteors in this match. Yeah, the Zappa player is most likely going to get messed up. You're just blocking and just eating a free. I have to respect all the pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
But if Zappa gets the sword early on, then he's most likely going to win if he's managed to get one decent knockdown in the corner with some meter.
You just pin him down, right?
Yeah, and Dog too. Dog does really well against Faust.
I can see even Ghost not being too bad, right? Ghost can't even be like too bad in this matchup.
Yeah, Ghost is not that bad too. If I manage to get him cursed and you try to maintain that and just kind of either the items do that or he hangs himself trying to push buttons during those cursed items or flower pot randomly hits him. I could just do that for a while, right? Just run away and just toss Ghost off constantly. But he does have really good options though. Like he has Force Break Pogo, which stops a lot of Zappa stuff on the ground.
Right.
And obviously his depending on which item he gets, it could like Robokai is definitely one thing I do not like. Robokai definitely shuts down Zappa's options really quickly. Because it forces either I'm going to take the block and have to block then come and mix up, or have to jump, but I have to take the air mix up pressure and then I have to come back down. So things like that. So yeah, Robokai is really good against Zappa. But yeah, like I said, it all depends on the item, on the RNG gods, right? Like he gets them the good stuff. So, but whoever gets it first, right? That's the thing.
Right.
It's a fun matchup though. It's like
it sounds like it's pretty dynamic, right? Because it's just all just going. Like,
it's very dynamic. It's like an adrenaline rush. Like you're going to a casino and you're like hitting the reels. Like, all that wild bonus, man.
Man, I love that analogy. Right
Yeah.
It's like I just see it just raining meteors and dogs and swords.
Oh yeah. When you hit the sword, it's like you hit the jackpot. You're like, oh, I got the jackpot. Let's go.
That's what you just said, Mike. Yeah, it's just that's funny. I should watch more of your Elven matches, like when you do Elven and stuff, because it just sounds like hilarious. It looks pretty wild when I ever watch those matches. I was like, damn, this looks so wild.
Yeah. Me and Mike also play a lot, right? Elven Shadow and I, we play a lot. Like,
really?
Yeah, we've been playing since like 2004 or 5, like since Reload.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we go to tournaments all the time, and I've played as Faust a lot over the years. But in Plus R, yeah, like we got to the point where it's just like the items, man, are a huge indicator
The actual.
of yeah.
I think what's crazy about Faust now that so many of his items are like they're basically all in his favor now at this point, right? Except for maybe the food. And that always just
Oh
blows my
yeah, I think
mind.
that was probably like the worst one.
Which one? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Candy bar.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It looks like a Kit Kat bar.
Mm-hmm. But just some
Yeah,
tensions in
that's
life, if I recall, right? And
oh man, I get it. Dude, I love the moment too when Faust players throw out a freaking donut or the it's like I think that looks like a flute, but it gives your attention boost.
yeah, it's 100%. Yeah, I just like yeah, yeah.
Dude, I don't care, man. I'm always going in for that. So
You just
that's
dash
like
up
another
DPRC. Let's go dash up
that counter
DPRC.
rush. And he might throw that item. I'm like, bro, I don't care, man. Like
I'm
we're
going.
playing chicken right now. We're gonna
I
go
bet
for
you
that.
both players are like, God damn it! They just have to run to the middle of the screen and just play chicken. Like, ah.
I was like, but sometimes I'll respect it if it's like too close to him. I'm definitely not going towards it. But if it's like in the middle of the screen, yeah, it's like a little gladiator face off and running to the middle. I want that.
Well, let's see what Hona said.
Um,
I'm gonna read this real quick. So whether Faust gets a good item or bad item, there's definitely incentive to staying near him so you can get either one, punish the item toss itself. Definitely, that's a good point. Two, somehow profit in the scramble and end up neutralizing the benefit of said item or gaining the boon yourself. Right? Yeah, food, bombs, combos. Yeah.
mhm. Yep.
Some characters have a much harder time getting to that range though. How do you feel it's easy for Zappa to get in that range? You can crouch underneath a lot of his stuff, right?
Yeah, I could crouch. I mean, what do you like to do? Like scalpel pull? I could actually dash under that.
So lame, so cheap.
Yeah, yeah. Scalpel pull, you could run under it and just DP straight up. Um,
Fish cake, yeah. Yeah, they just said it. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Man. There's just a lot of things with Faust that I feel is pretty even. Like, yeah, because he also here's the other thing too, right? But yeah, so he whips through my dash, and I can just do I do DP often because of
Right.
that. Because he has so much recovery on his normal, so it's like okay, like far S. But I don't see Elton Shadow do far S anymore, and he just does 2H, which is really good against Zappa. Yeah, but I think it's pretty manageable. But like I said, it's like a tug of war. It's like whoever gets the good item, and if not a good item,
Sup,
yeah.
buddy? Is that a Hosa in here? Is that his full handle? Honto Soman Hosa? Is he the one? Is he the clip that IBs everything for you, makes your life sad?
Dude, yeah, this is the dude. Yeah, that's the Hosa, the Japanese clip player. Dude, he bodied me, man.
Ah, konbanwa, Hosa-san.
I mean, there were some really close matches, but overall, like, I was just like, I can't believe this guy's like slash backing all my store stuff, and I was just like, dude, what's going on here, man? But yeah, he's really good. Like, he has an amazing clip, like super amazing.
素晴らしいクリップが聞いてしまいました。Yeah, yeah. Akenji, how's your Japanese? It's good, right? I imagine.
No, it's not.
It's a
No, I used to be fluent in Japanese when I was in Japan, like years ago.
I know my Japanese is fading away. It's fading away. All right, I can feel it every day. I feel like 5 words leave my head. I worry. I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but I think it's a lost cause. Yeah.
So I believe I'm gonna probably move on to Biken.
Oh yeah, do it.
Oh
do
god.
it.
Okay, so this is a really bad matchup for Zappa, like really bad. Yeah, I don't know. Like you basically just have to go. Like what I ended up resorting to is like just poking, a lot of poking, right, to fish for counters and stuff. But a good biking player is already knowing what you're trying to do, so they can switch the cadence of like when they're gonna mash on something or keep blocking. So it's frustrating for the person fighting biking. So I go for a lot of throws. Yeah, I have to offer a lot of throws just to make up for that stuff, right? Like I can't really attack or I'll try. Sometimes I'll fish for like overheads or lows, but I don't continue it. If I see her blocking, I'm like, nope. But that sucks though, because Zappa can't really do much of anything.
Yeah,
aside.
Viking's really strong, dude. Like I don't.
Viking's really strong. Like I think she's definitely top tier for sure.
Yeah.
And also the random like hits that she can get from like jump H into whatever counter hit jump H and stuff. The damage she Zappa's ridiculous. Like he just melts right away, even from with no tension, just doing B like combos with her. Like she's really good on countering it. 50% easy.
Yeah. I
Sword
can't see what.
pressure.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Nothing
It's
works,
all
right?
No, I mean the only way to really get her into like sword mix up is I have to go for like all the hard like just straight up either overhead or lows, right? So
Yeah,
like
that's what I
jump as
imagine, right? Yeah, it's not
no
really
ground
safe.
pressure. Yeah, you gotta go for one of those just go for it, like instant high low stuff. But no, I mean yeah, the sword pressure doesn't work. She just counters her way out of there, or what is that? She dashes, like she just dashes
I forgot what it's
through
called. I just call it the Iron Girl run, where she just runs at you, right? She has like that one hit of armor, super armor on it or whatever.
it. She's a colossus.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
let's see. She just has really good damage output against them too,
Dude,
and
she
just all her
hurts.
buttons are actually good. All her buttons, bar S, 2D is really good, 2S. They all just beat Zappa's
I never
normals.
thought about that. Like this matchup, right? This matchup does sound pretty rough. I don't know
It
what
is
you would.
pretty. I think it's good for a lot of people too. But I think in terms of like the top three characters, I think she gives a harder time than Testament even for Zappa.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I guess I can see it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Testament, he's a monster too.
I feel like you could like that's what's weird. I wish we had like another matchup chart to see more because Savary just put like fives across the board. I was like, I could also see that too, which is kind of funny. Um, yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I think it's
yeah,
pretty obvious why she's pretty strong in that
yeah.
matchup. Uh, Jam. I think this is in Zappa's favor. Uh,
Really?
and and yeah, like when she does her dash. I don't know a lot of these moves, but when she dash and does her pop off stuff, right? Zappa can actually 6P through that clean and get a counter hit
Uh huh.
every time.
Oh, right.
Unless
It's
she does,
super easy, right? Like,
yeah, but unless the player decides to do the dash slide kick, which is the only way to stop it. But you know, but if you just wait for the reaction of the fist coming up for the puffball, yeah, you can 6P that on the last frame and just get a counter hit.
right.
Pretty crazy.
Can you have
Yeah,
6P even the force break? By the way, I was curious.
I think the force break as well. I think, yeah.
That's you can. That's cheap, cheap Zappa privilege point right there.
I'll have to check that out actually because I might be wrong in that, but I'm pretty sure you can 6P both. But I think it's a different timing of the 6P. You might have to do it really
Like
late
really,
against
really
the
late.
force break.
Yeah, I do have the game open. I can check real quick, but you can keep talking about jam shenanigans.
Um,
Anything?
yeah, I think she does really well though against like pressure, like obvious pressure stuff. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, she could pick the sword stuff easier, right? The sword
Right.
swipe with her embedded parry, like that's really good. So she has ways to get out of that. But
I'm
when it
mad at
comes to
you.
Dalton,
You keep totally
yeah,
just force me just 6P8. I'm so mad right now. I'm so infuriated. Sorry about that. I had to
oh,
cut
but
you
he
off
can
because
see it.
you can just stare. You can, so anytime you just see like her do anything, you just 6P. I'm like, damn, that's pretty brutal.
I mean, it's not that hard for the Zappa player to react to that because you're already crouching. You just have to just throw out 6P. Like you just don't have to worry. Just throw out 6P and everything's all right. And then you'll see the big counter hit. She gets launched like, oh, and then you do whatever into summon or sword combo, ghost
Mm-hmm.
combos,
Mm-hmm.
combos. Let's see. But yeah, I don't think that's bad. But Jam does have really good pressure if she keep the momentum up,
Mm-hmm.
respecting the maybe doing safe jump stuff or respecting the DP. Like she should be okay because as long as you can make Zappa block even when he's summoned, which is the worst time he could block because he loses a lot of his reversal options aside from like super.
Right.
Um, you know what I mean? Because even the sword DP is not like that great up close like that. So yeah, if you could keep the momentum up while he's summoned and doing pressure, and you get like one massive combo, like and you have a card, like you could definitely kill Zappa pretty quick, like super fast.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
think the neutral game, like controlling the screen and the momentum, like I think he can shift that really quickly in his favor,
Right.
faster than she can in the mid screen. Yeah,
I can see that.
but on Oki and dealing with pressure, I think she definitely has the upper hand.
Yeah, she has to get there though, right? And I think taking away force break puffball is like something a lot of people don't know what to do if they you take that away from them. Like it's like especially
Yeah,
a lot of new players are like, what do I do? What do I do? I
yeah.
can
When
see.
you see her doing that constantly too, you
Mhm.
get you lose track of which one was plus. Wait, which one was negative? Oh my god, I beat the wrong one.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot of.
you have to be on top of that. So we have Johnny next.
Oh,
This is a
this is funny because when we were talking to Joe about this, 'cause you gave my friend a bit of a rough time over there, and I was like, just put the zero, just put the zero, and he was like, but
uh,
I don't really
this
know how.
is yeah. This one is this is definitely his man. I think this Zappa's one of his easiest matchups.
Damn, that sucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because well, one okay, so the reason is like well, Johnny is still like a solid character. Like he has good damage. Like he could still kill Zappa and shit, right? Like he has all the tools to do that. But in terms of like defensive options,
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
loses anything with that's dealing with meter. He loses it, right? Like
Right.
super, Zappa could just 2P underneath the super and just punish him.
Damn, I forgot
It,
about
it
that
whips
ability.
completely. Yeah, 2P
Right.
whips completely. So anytime you see him with tension and you just go up and you decide to mash 2P, it's gonna whip every time. And also dead angle. 2P dead angle, like it whips completely.
So you just be a
Like,
complete nuisance to him the whole time. That sounds so annoying.
you just you can just do 2P if you just like, oh man, I'm gonna just
That's
2P and dead angles. Oh dude, I could tell in the once the Johnny player realizes that, oh, he's first time fighting a Zappa player, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna do my super hoot. Oh shit, they're whipped. Well, at least I have dead angle. Oh, I do my dead angle. Oh wait, 2P goes under that. Dude, that's a very sad moment.
yeah.
When you're-
When you have a normal that beats your defensive all of your defensive options, that sounds
yeah,
pretty rough. Like
yeah,
that's
it's rough, man. Like you just 2P as Zappa player. Like there's no worry. Like if he has tension, you're not worried. You're like he's either gonna waste it or you're gonna get your pressure, right?
mm-hmm.
So when the Johnny player does get a hit and it has to count. Like that's the thing. Like it has to count every time. Like make sure you get a coin in there or you get a lucky coin when you're zoning neutral and but you got to make sure like you land that freaking combo and make it hurt like because the momentum is basically going to be in Zappa's favor instantly once he gets the summon makes you block right
Mm-hmm.
and all the summons do well against Johnny so there's really
He's
it's
always
really Johnny player has to be very on point
always playing
like
out. Yeah. I
combo
can't imagine
execution
that being fun though. Like if you could just straight up beat like his 5K like all the time. Like I'm like, that sounds so hard. You have to play out of your norm like all the time.
yeah it's
Oof.
definitely hard
Mm-hmm.
um
What's next?
Axel. That's one of so
This
Axel's one of Atlas harder matchups too.
yeah. I'm guessing counters are involved. Maybe,
Well,
possibly.
counters are involved.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the thing is, he could deal with the counters by baiting it, right? Like if he's using sword, you could change your cadence of your pressure to different tempo and then would punish him that way. But no, Axel just has really good normals that just puts Zappa in check. Like 2P is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, any kind of air movement, you can position Axel's normals to hit in that direction. So it's really hard for Zappa to get started. And also Zappa don't have any good tools in the air to deal with Axel aside from Ghost, right? Like you throw Ghost out, but that's not much of a concern for Axel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so on the ground, I'm basically forced to stay on the ground and just try to just hopefully I get a lucky summon or I randomly hit him during his active frames of his attacks and you know or whip or try to instant block his pressure and try to look out for something like 6H and I try to DP that. But if I get hit, like the damage that he does is really crazy, and Axel player doesn't have to really worry about Zappa's DP. He could just space out and just throw out 2 hard slash or something. So yeah, he has really good options against Zappa.
And it's another matchup I didn't think about. I just assumed Zappa top tier. Zappa would have no hard matchups. I'm like, damn, you're pulling up a bunch of them now I think about it. Yeah, Axel sounds really rough too. Or it can be
Yeah,
really rough. Yeah.
yeah, it can be really rough. It just depends on how well the Axel player knows the Zappa matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But Axel has all of his embedded tools are really good against him. Naturally, it's really good against him. So the next one is Anji. Uh,
How's this one feel? We put it
this
even
one I feel is very
or
even actually.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
You also play Anji, correct?
yeah, I do.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
I just started using him recently again, so I've been having a lot of fun because it's been like 7 years since I've
Oh, really?
played.
Down.
Mm, Gotta get the rust off me. Or what? He's really fun.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, so this matchup, I think it's pretty even.
mm-hmm.
Well, one thing's for sure, like his auto guards are really good against his dogs. Really good against the ghost.
What did Chet just say? Candy used to be the U.S. Anji. Wait, did you actually used to play Anji like a whole crap ton? I thought, yeah. So, like,
Yeah, he was my main since Reload up until like Vanilla, and then towards the end of Vanilla, during Vanilla I started using Zappa more, like
mm,
towards the end too. So I kind of shifted to him more.
yeah,
But no, I've been using him since XX. Right?
right.
No, sorry, Single X. I played the one on Dreamcast.
Oh,
Single
so
X.
that's old school. You had the
Yeah,
Infinite
and
back
then I
then, right? With
played.
like the close slash.
Yeah, because we didn't get the copy of Midnight Carnival. It came out already, but we only had the Single X. So someone got like a bootleg version of
mm-hmm.
XX, and someone did this knife trick with the PS2, so you can play imports.
Oh,
So yeah, that's the only. So we were playing Single X for a while, but I was using him, and that's when I still use Anji throughout the series up until yeah, until like late EC.
yeah. You want to go into detail about this matchup? I'm pretty curious. I wonder what
Sure.
my Anji friend put down real quick. Where is? I think he's over here. Anji. Zap. Oh, he put it as not in his favor. So yeah, go elaborate, please, if you don't mind.
I think Anji can deal with Zappa pretty well, especially with his butterfly. His butterfly is really good against him because Anji doesn't have to really worry about running. Let's say he gets him in the corner and he's doing butterfly pressure.
Mm-hmm.
He could just throw butterfly and just wait there just to see if he's been swimming or not, and then go back in and do whatever he has to do, and then respace out and catch him. But when Zappa from air to ground, like Anji has like auto guards out the ass to preventing any kind of air to ground movement. Uh, 5P's really good against him too.
Yeah.
So Zappa has
Anji.
really super strong ground game. He could Fujin through the sword pressure in certain points. He could just Fujin right through it. And it's really good for him too. Let's say if I was doing a block screen from like mid screen and the sword it just whips randomly, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I did two, I didn't catch him crouching, or the first hit got blocked, but he instant blocked it, and then he Fujins right through before the second hit part comes out to hard slash. Dude, counter hit, big combo, and then Zappa's dead.
I can see that being a big problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's easier said than done, but I mean,
He
essentially
has
when
an
you get
option,
him
right?
right
Yeah.
down, yeah, he has high damage. He has really good combos like Fujin loops on Zappa. That's pretty generous.
Yeah, I think Leo
And
just
also,
mentioned that. Yeah, Fujin loops. Oof.
yeah, Fujin loops on Zappa is pretty generous compared to the rest of the cast. So you could get some nice combos into knockdown, butterfly, low risk. You just wait it out, see what he does, and yeah, like everything. But Zappa does have good tools though against Anji. Like 2S stuffs Fujin,
Mm-hmm.
r/slash Fujin, which is really good. Vomit is really good, and once he gets sword too, it's just like it's really hard for Anji to escape it. But he does. But like I said, they both have like good qualities in terms of answers for each other's special moves. And
Right.
then also during dog sandwich combos, like you can instant block the pressure, and you could 6K like the dog bite, and you could go right through all the pressure. Um, so yeah, his auto guard's really great, like 6K, 5D. He has really good answers.
I can see that, right? Yeah. Like, damn. I think
Uh,
I'm pretty sure Anji will out damage Zappa, right? If he just starts going ham on you really hard too.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Zappa takes a lot. I mean, dude, Anji does a lot of damage to Zappa. Like,
Yeah, the Fujin loops are a big mention then, right? Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so that's the thing I'm worried about in that matchup is the Fujin is actually just really strong and against Zappa in particular because he has a lot of startup on his normals and stuff. So
Mhm.
he just zips right through and clips you. Um, yeah. Let's see, Venom.
How's this on?
Venom, I feel it's in Zappa's favor for sure. It's kind of like the same issue, right? Like with Kai, he could just dash under his stinger. So anytime he's trying to set up all these balls, he could, randomly, if the Venom player's just throwing the ball, not, hitting the balls, but not really considering the height of where he's hitting them and not covering the ground level, I could just zip right through that too and just get in really quickly. So there's that. And also, the sword is really good against him in general. Like all the summons are good against Venom. The ghosts are really good. So if you're trying to do ball set, with Venom, setting balls up out on the screen, the up ghost can randomly hit him. When you spam that stuff. So it really keeps things in control. Like it's easy for Zappa to kind of control the situation compared to other
Right.
casts. Well, some other characters, you just see Venom set up the balls full screen and you just can't do really much about it. Like
Right.
you just have to deal with it.
Zappa just goes, I'm
Um,
waving at you.
yeah. Check out these ball formations.
Oh man.
You can't do anything. Um, but yeah, Zappa just handles that matchup pretty well. And then when he gets dog out, he hasn't. He's yeah, it's really easy to call out stuff with Venom. It's just his normals, his 5K, I believe, goes under. Far S goes under. Well, Zappa goes under those normals when he dashes. So
Zappa's dash is cheap. It's a very cheap dash. I'm saying it again. It's a very cheap dash. He's always had it though. He's always had it.
just know in the future if they make another Zappa or whatever in Shrive, like he would be nowhere near this, man.
He's gonna be
Like,
just a normal guy, just a normal dude. He's maybe has a gun. That's what I think. They just give him a gun, and that's what he would have.
that was a ridiculous character, man. Like whoever designed him they were out in the fields taking mushrooms and just like, man,
I love his like the concept of the character, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. He put a lot of work into him though, and I think just like a lot of it. Well, how do we buff him? Then he kept buffing him. Then he just got too many buffs over time. I think is what actually really happened to him, right? Because no one's gonna say like XX and Reload Zappa were like that, like the best characters in the game, right? So unless you are,
Yeah, Zappa's definitely he's just really solid all around. Like I don't think he has really hard weaknesses,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's not like a free ticket though. I feel like you have to still put in all that extra work to like it is a lot of work to use him execution wise, like with dog and certain things, and there's so many matchup specific positioning you have to do.
Right.
But once you get that down, like, just like when people pick up Zato or Eddie and at first they're like, oh shit, man. But once you get a hang of them, it's like you're just gonna have a great time.
Yeah, I think what really sticks with me so far from what you've said is that like there are matchups where you don't want a certain summon, and then like you'll probably definitely really feel that pressure right between the other character when like it's not an ideal summon. I got an ad bay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then this one, actually for
Venom.
the Venom one, yeah, like he does have good tools though that work well against Zappa. Like once he gets blocking, like
Mm-hmm.
in the corner, like he's pretty much gonna have to respect everything. Especially when like I said, when Zappa has a summon and you're doing pressure and mix-ups on him, like he basically has to deal with everything. Like, no DP, super, whatever. Like, yeah, it's just really hard time for him. So anytime you see Zappa naked, just let him summon first and deal with it. Like it's better to do that because because once you start pressuring, he can't just spam, instant block DP,
Right.
So
I think people are they'll panic though depending on the summon, right?
yeah.
Me. But that's just matchup experience. I think for people, right? They'll get better with it and then it'll be less of
Yeah,
a threat.
but if the Venom player does control, like setting out nice variants of like balls that are set up low, or you do like a move that makes it go in diagonals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough for Zappa though. Like, yeah, it's still tough. But it only takes one knockdown to really push the momentum in his favor quickly because Venom doesn't have like a real reversal, so
Mm.
he's gonna I get sword, then he has to block all that stuff, which sucks.
And then
So we have
oh, yeah, Testament. You're right. You're right. You're good.
okay. So this one I feel is in Testament's favor,
Ooh.
very much. Like the thing is, I think it's like good for Zappa too. Like I think Zappa has answers for Testament, but the thing
Right.
is, Testament has a consistent momentum versus Zappa. So let's say if Zappa just had like even dogs the whole entire time, then I would think it's like an even matchup. But because Testament's tools, they're just accessible anytime, while Zappa is getting swarmed by all this shit, and he gets a random summon. And it's like, oh, like I got a summon that is not good in this situation, So
Which ones would not be
it's
so good? Like not ideal.
uh, I think they're all good, but I think it's all like screen positioning situations, right?
Oh, right.
So yeah, so like let's say if I have a ghost and I'm getting pressured in the corner, it's like I don't have much to do. Like I can't really poke out with my far ass with sword or use my dog as a meat shield. And then with the ghost, I'm stuck in this like
Mhm.
wrist, cranked up, and I'm just blocking this whole thing, and I get one random like 6p or 2k, and it's like, well, there's 70% of my life.
Yeah, his damage is pretty wild, right? So it's like I got like
Also,
sorry, I'm thinking of one
dude,
situation too that sounds really bad too. Is that if you get if you get a dog, right, and he has a web on you, well, I guess the dog. Wait, if you get a dog when you get up, will the web hit the dog like automatically, or is the
yeah,
dog actually spawn invul?
no. So I don't know if you know this, but the dog is
Mm-hmm.
only the Herbach is active during its moves.
Only okay. Only it's actual attacks, right?
Yeah. So if let's say if Testament knocks me down, set a web right above me,
Yeah.
and I did up dog right
Mm-hmm.
when it comes out on my wake up, then the dog will hit it for sure. But if
Oh.
it's just sitting there, it'll just stay neutral. I don't think it'll hit the dog if I do 5D, but if I do anything else like the backflip, the lunge move, I think it'll clip the dog. Six Testament's 6K 6H is really good against Zappa, and particularly the move that's really good against Zappa is RS, like
Can you
that
not?
spinning.
Can you not go through it? Like dash underneath it? It's the first
I
thing I would
mean, I
ask.
could. Oh no, if I mean, you could dash through in DP, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
have to do it so early, right?
It's so far, right?
Do the DP. Yeah, because the forest just shuts me down during my dash like immediately. So to get past that, I have to actually preemptively summon. So I carry the invul during the dash, right? To clip him while I'm sliding during the DP
You heard it
animation. Right?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm like dashing over DP and letting it slide and hit him through the forest, but that's such a hard read.
Mm-hmm.
If you get hit by that forest, he gets like pretty good combos out of it. It's a
Especially on
scary
counter.
move.
Everything will work from counter here too, so that's kind of pretty brutal.
Yeah, Testment's forest is ridiculous, man. Like if I was like on a little bit of life or something, and he just wanted to say, "I just want to end this," you could just make me block the far S and just keep spamming, just inching in, just do far S, inch in, far S. Like
Right.
it's just it's like a hurt box, man. Like
It is just
hip hop.
a floating magical scythe just rotating in place in front of your face. Yeah.
Let's see, other stuff. Yeah, once Zappa gets going with this pressure too, the sword pressure and warrant
Mm-hmm.
basically can stop a lot of those things too. So I can't do optimal pressure strings. I have to like just poke and just kind of wait. Like I'll do like an extended pressure string, and then if I know it's not a true string, I'll just wait for a little bit just to see if there's gonna be a warrant, right?
Right.
So it's like Testament players trying to they see me do 5S 2S 5H. I won't do the sword swipe. I'll just let the sword sit there because I'll be like I'll just wait for him to warrant, and if he doesn't, I'll just keep continuing the pressure after it. But that just slows down the momentum so much, and if he notices I'm doing that, he could just do 2H to kind of go through a little bit with the invul right out of the corner, and then just do like a auto, and then he could summon Beast real quick, and then teleport right next to me. So he has options to get out of that, and the dog is not that bad as well because he could warrant the dog pressures pretty well, and the
Yeah.
ghost too. Like he could warrant the ghosts,
Yeah.
and uh, ghost throws actually have a lot of recovery unless you FRC it. Like if you hit him with if he warrants the ghost and you didn't FRC it and you didn't block immediately, you're gonna get hit by the warrant for sure.
Oof. I didn't. Yeah, that's something too. People like might not realize too. The ghost like tosses actually do have quite a bit of recovery on them. It's quite lengthy, especially if you make them whiff. That's a thing too. That's a general thing too. If you can make Zappa whiff like his special moves, it's pretty noticeable in recovery.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of recovery on tons of his moves, especially the sword is really one of the big culprits too. A lot of people don't know that if a whipped 5S in the air or whatever, it's no good. Like
Yeah, I guess he has
only
recovery all the way down, right? He can't do anything until
all the
he's
way, all the way. Yeah, he's like frozen. There's no FRCs, so that's why I always try to just keep pushing the sword forward from mid screen, right? So if I'm pressuring like Testament or something, once they clip them with anything, even if they're blocking, I'll just go with the string as long as it keeps me pressuring them and also the sword on top of them at the same time.
Right.
But Testament can deal with all this shit. Like he just is to him, it's like a normal fighting game.
Yeah, he fights every character the same. Every character's gonna feel the same.
Yeah, to him, this is like this is not like what other people experience, with like Zappa. For me, it's like, oh yeah, this is crazy. For me, because I'm like, oh, I have this option. Oh, he did this crazy overhead. It's not that crazy, but it worked anyways. So it's 6P is so good. His 6P is amazing.
I heard they buffed it or they nerfed it in this game. They did something to it. They did something magical to it. I forgot what it was. Wait, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't remember too much about his.
They changed it though. They did something to it. They touched it in some way or another. I don't know if it was good or bad.
His 2S is godlike, dude.
Dude,
Testament?
I saw that hitbox. Like I didn't, because I play Testament in Accent Core, and then they're like, you should be doing 2S. You should be doing 2S. I was like, why? They changed the hitbox on it. I was like,
it's basically an anti.
Yeah,
it's like a DP.
It's so big. It's so big.
Yeah, there's like I remember when I used to fight the Estimate a lot, and other they use 2S. And I think when it played G2, I noticed you were using 6P, which was interesting. You're the first person I saw that when I jumped above you and you landed, you did 6P. I was like, oh, why don't people do this? 6P to 2S.
Yeah. It's still an anti-air, guys. It's still an anti-air.
Yeah, it works. I mean, well, in that situation when I was above you, it worked.
Yeah, it's specific, yeah. But if I would, the smarter answer would have done 2S. I don't know.
It's smart. Well, here's the thing. It's smart because if I even blocked it, you might still get the overhead, right?
Right.
It's like, oh. Yeah, so I don't know. It's still pretty good.
Let me read Mike's comment. It's one of the best anti-airs in the game, and it's not even supposed to be. Dude, you don't make a hitbox that big and not think it's not going to work as an anti-air. Whoever drew that was a toddler just trying to make a square for the first time and just realized they couldn't do it. Like, I'm going all the way, Papa. I'm going all the way. And it's made a giant, just turning a whole piece of paper as a hitbox. That's what happened there.
Dude, yeah, that thing is ridiculous. The vertical hitbox on that is bonkers, man.
Yeah. I should pull it up real quick. You guys want to see it? It's actually messed up. But I just want to move on. I don't really mind.
No, it's cool. If you want to show it, that's fine.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see here. It's bonky. Like it's like super like when you see it, like this is poorly designed. It does look good. Alright. AC+R test. Let's see if we can pull it up real quick. It shouldn't be too long. Just give me a second to find it. 2S, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just pass it? This also assumes that I can find it very quickly. 6K. There. 2K 2S. You guys ready for this? You ready for it? I don't know if you're ready for this. Have you seen it before? It's actually traumatizing how big this attack is. Oh no, I passed it. Where'd it go? There it is. It's right. I passed it. No, where'd it go?
You see Bordeaux's 2C?
It's base. It might as there it is. There it is. This thing doesn't need to exist. I feel like someone was injured in some way in order to get this into the game. It was never like this. It was never ever like this, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
2S was new to Pulsar, I believe.
Yeah, like the changes to this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's huge. Look how big it is above his head.
Well, dude, it still hits you. Even if you are like directly above him, it'll still hit you.
Yuki wants me to pull up a 5S too. Is this? Did they change the hitbox on this too? I'm sorry. I'm just kind of nerding out about these hitboxes. This one right here, right? I think they made it wider, right? Casey.
Yeah, I don't remember what the hitbox was
I
back
don't
in
think it was.
the.
I don't think it ever reached all the way. Like from what I remember from when I used to play Testament. But I could also be wrong. I could also be very much wrong with this. But whatever it is, it's still really good. It's also 11 frames, which is absurd for how far that is.
Yeah, it's really fast. And dude, you see how big that hitbox is, dude? There's no way you're reaching that. There's no way Zappa's gonna be able to just be
Yeah.
like,
I don't know how
you're
you could
just gonna
clear.
be
This is like 4
no,
Zappa links of like running underneath this thing. Like,
no. And no one in this game is gonna do shit about that move. That move is just way too amazing. It's way too amazing.
Tears of players. These are the tears of players right there. Yeah, okay, cool. I pulled that one up. Yeah.
Dude, it's basically like a fireball. It's just like a fireball that's just like in front of him. It's like instant.
Yeah. How? It's dude. Even the total frames is like less than 30. Well, it's almost. It's less than 30. Damn, that's crazy. That's less than 30. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, this move is actually insane. It's also -5. Why is it -5? Why is this -5? How is someone from that
Telling
far
you,
away
man,
at -5?
like I said, if Zappa was down to like 10% health or 15%, you might as well. If you're a Testament player, you should just spam the shit out of that move. Be like, just throw it out, make it block, just dash in, do it again until I get hit or Zappa player gets it.
Oh man, damn. All right, I'll close this hitbox because this is actually bringing tears to my eyes. It's awful when I can actually. No, Uku. He said that you can't.
Tears of joy or like tears of laughter because it's so ridiculous, or tears of sadness.
So you can't actually run it underneath this, right? You can't just dash 6-6. Like, you can't 6-6 through it all the way, right? At all.
Oh no, Zappa cannot dash into that Ukujiku.
There you go. Yeah. Historic reenactment. I'm gonna pull this up. Like this. It's funny when you. Yeah.
There should be like a giant pizza. Like change that into a pizza, like a spinning one.
Oh, that was pretty good. That looks pretty
That
delicious.
was pretty awesome.
This. I didn't realize how dumb this movie is. This is my mistake for not mashing this all the time when I play Testament. Could have been. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on because I don't want to keep you forever. Sorry. Was there anything else you wanted to do about Testament? Oh, I have a question. Can you 2P through Nightmare Circular?
I don't know. 2P through Nightmare Circular. If close enough, maybe.
I think you could 6P it if you want to be really ballsy about it, but that would super sick.
It would have to be so instant, and right at the moment he activates it, right? So
yeah, you have to do before Super Flash, which is kind of like a call out. So.
What's gonna run up that close though, especially on Wake Up, because Testaments has a slighter wake up delay. So yeah, and then 6P, it's pretty easy to throw if it whiffs. Yeah, we can move on to Dizzy. This is another bad one.
I'm really curious. I'm curious how this one's going to turn out for you.
Okay, so the same thing. This is like the same situation with like Testament, right? She has all these amazing daggers, fish, laserfish, bubble, and her normals are pretty good, right? Jump 2S is godlike. So I think Zappa has ways to handle her, right?
Right.
But if she is able to get the momentum early, like even make me block, and she starts her pressure, it's basically in her favor. It's like she's just gonna snowball from that point on, right?
Right.
And Zappa too, like I said, like sword is good against her, dog is good, like all the stuff is good against her, but depending on the situation, like from the corner, I become like any other character under her pressure that can't deal with it easily. You know what I mean? So yeah, everything about her is good. Like again, Zappa, I feel. I think he could deal with her, but like I said, she has consistency. Like Testament, all the tools are available to them all given time. Like, let's say if I get sword and she has like, or ghost, no, I'm sorry, a dog and she has like laserfish out, bubbles, and all this stuff. My dog is not going to do too much, right? And she could, once I start blocking, she could start going in, doing all these mix-ups while I'm trying to call my dog still from behind, which is still good, but the chances of, she gets like at least two mix-ups before that dog gets to her, right?
Right.
So that kind of makes it difficult with the dog. But if I manage to block it and get it, that's peachy. But you know, when she gets started, I'm just saying, like, she has so much momentum, and she could control the whole situation after one good corner carry. So yeah, she's really good.
It sounds like Dizzy's just. I think she's really strong too in this game, like overall.
She's really strong for sure.
Yeah, that Oki's really good.
Let's see, Slayer. I think this is his favorite.
Okay.
Kind of similar with Jam. He has really good tools against Slayers, like dandy setups. His ghosts are really good. In this matchup, all his summons are really good in every aspect too. Like, Dog is really good, keeping pressure, keeping him in control and neutral. Ghost is really good for that. Like horizontal Ghost is good. Like S Ghost, K Ghost is good. The ground, like the low bouncing one, is good to control. So you can kind of inch your way in and kind of create like a little wall in the neutral, and then the sword. Once he gets blocking, he's just going to be eating a lot of mix-ups. But I don't think the sword is as bad though in his situation, since he could BBC out of.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If you can get out there, just like.
Right. Yeah, but the sword still can control the mid screen. Like if he's trying to come in somehow, like the sword actually has good tools. Like the 236S can stop his Mappa or dandy setups, get him to counter hit. And if you have tension, you could extend into like a big combo, so you can, get extra damage. Yeah, and he gets 6P, like I said, through a lot of his stuff.
That's what I was pretty sure you just troll him with your buttons at that. Well, not troll him, but like it's Slayer's gonna wants to press certain buttons at certain ranges, and you can be like, no, stop it.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because when you do 6P, since if he does like K Mappa, and then you just do 6P like just randomly, it just goes over him so quickly, and then the 6P just hits him.
I forgot you did 6P Mappa. That's.
It looks so weird because it looks like it shouldn't 6P, but it does.
I should have really pulled it.
Obviously, you see Slayer's fist going right through him, right? So pretty nuts. Let's see. I feel like this is in Zappa's favor as well.
Okay. It's all in your favor. It looks like. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Because I feel like all the summons do really well in this too. Ghost does really well. It's hard for to commit to a dash easily when he has a ghost. And then with the sword, she basically, even if she has super or meter in the corner and you have sword on her, she's just either going to get baited or, it's really hard for her to escape those situations.
Yeah, awkward movement too, right? So it's like kind of.
Yep. Stroke the big tree, gets stomped by 5K, counter hit.
What? Yeah. That sucks. Oh no, I'm sorry. Your life sounds like suffering. We ever play against Zappa?
Yeah, you could do 5K.
That's so good. I don't think make it 5K, so that's kind of makes me jealous. So I'm just thinking about all the things I'm jealous of right now. All right. Yeah, so you could 5K stroke.
Yeah, and also, when she does a little hover mix-ups, Zappa's 5P is pretty good. So you could get like a counter hit 5P when she's trying to do like let's say, she gets you blocking the corner and she does like a short hover trying to go for either overhead or low.
Yeah.
During the short hop, you just do 5P and it stops all her hover mix-ups pretty easily. And it just stops her momentum like super fast. And then you could probably get a free summon after that on counter hit. So. Or even on clean hit, which is crazy. But yeah, the dog too. Like when she gets stuck in a dog combo, like she has no answers to get out unless she uses dead angle in the right time and hit me out of the pressure before the dog gets to her. But yeah, to me, she's more like in the range of like the Souls matchup, right? Like she still has all these amazing tools and Okazemi setups, like FB note and all that stuff and pressure. And just like Soul, he has like really high damage and stuff, but her neutral control is very difficult for her in that matchup.
Right.
So it's very similar to the Soul matchup, how it's approached in terms of you know when's the right time to get into Zappa, or when's the right time to throw out note and things like that. Because he could run under that stuff too.
I was about to say, I was thinking, well, does it, have no, and then you have an immediate answer for me. I was like, damn. God, that sucks. That's rough. Yeah, you just run underneath the note, right? You could probably make it like, I don't know. That sucks. That's all I got. That sucks. I'm sorry. Sorry. You can't even use chemical either, right? Yeah. Oh, do you want to
Let's see, and there's the Zap. Oh yeah,
you want to mention Zappa mirrors for funsies or what?
Zappa not fun, dude. That shit. Well, I mean, fun, and if you want crazy zany shit like that, that's you play Zappa versus Zappa, you get that. But man, like, why it's crazy? Sometimes the colors of the ghost, like, let's say you pick, I think it's the white one and or like default Zappa.
Yeah.
Both players, right, when they get the dog, it's the same color, so you don't know which dogs you have. And this is like,
oh yeah, I've seen that before. Like they barely change the color of the dogs, right? Sometimes it looks like.
Yeah, they barely change the color of the dogs of some of their palettes. So sometimes the dogs you get on screen, you get confused which one's yours. So you do a setup and you think that's your dog. It's like, no, your dog is over there. It's like, oh shit, like what was I doing? So it's pretty crazy.
That sounds. I forgot about the whole color wars situation. That's actually like when like you see it's not uncommon to hear commentators like and what like when they try to see like keep track of like all like if they're both the same summons too at the same time. It's like, huh?
Yes. So when I do Zappa mirrors, I always pick the red one, so I get like the all green color, so I know.
You can take a mental note.
Yeah, this is my dog. This is my green dog.
It's just funny, like you actually like prepared for this mirror match. Like, I have to pick this Zappa and this Zappa color in order to just so I can see what the hell's going on, man. That's funny.
Just to see what's going on, yeah, because most likely everyone else is going to pick like the other color dog. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes we might end up with the same ones. Like shit, we ended up with the same color dog somehow.
That sounds so funny to me.
So Bridget, yeah, this isn't Zappa's favorite too. Bridget has a hard time.
I can imagine Ghost is like a really big problem for running away, right? That's what I'm thinking immediately.
Are you saying the Ghost?
Yeah, because don't you have like D Ghost, like goes like straight up in the air and just like falls on the person? That's what I thought.
So there's a lot. I'll go into the Bridget one a lot, but I think the Bridget one, what makes it hard is when she does low damage, right? It's really hard for her to get super high damage unless she gets Punching Bear and you get in the corner, or it has to do with the bear somehow or the super. But in terms of neutral, like even when he's in a block string, he has really good instant blocks set up or options to bait certain moves, like the overhead attempts with like 6K or the overhead stuff like her jump dust. Like Zappa just has really good options for all that stuff, and he gets a summon a lot of time often against her too. When she's pressuring, I feel like she's sometimes at a disadvantage unless the Bridget player like puts up a yo-yo and sets up the bear early in the right positioning. But it's just so much that has to go into the setups though too, and Zappa just moves around under a lot of her stuff, so it's difficult for her to keep it in position. So I think that's a pretty bad matchup for Bridget. But so going back to the Ghost, right? It is good against her, but I fought Rue like a couple times years and years ago, and I remember using Bridget and just went off the screen. Like he had a huge life lead, right?
Yeah.
Well, he had a huge life lead, and I was like, I could still get him, maybe, which is crazy. But anyways, it's like if he comes back down, I got this Ghost. I'm gonna keep on shooting this P Ghost up in the screen. But dude, he's so far up off the screen, the Ghost will go all the way to the top, and it won't hit her. Like it disappears, like the hitbox disappears, and then it comes back down.
Oh, so that's funny.
It's as if she has no hitbox. She's past the screen. So
that's
even if I throw
so funny.
Yeah, it won't hurt her.
Damn, those roost strats right there. Fireballs don't hit me up here because I don't go up here.
Dude, I swear to God, I think he's the only person I've seen that stayed up on top of the screen for like nearly 20 seconds. It was crazy. I couldn't reach him. My ghost couldn't do shit. Oh, and if he did block the up ghost, he would time it so he would instant block it, so he gets the extra jump.
That's I heard that's what that Bridget players have to start looking out for, right? You want to get the extra jump.
They get the extra jump, throw the yo-yo up, and then
they're never coming back down for 10 more seconds, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like it doesn't really matter.
Oh man. Did you ever find your answer to it, or did you just like go, damn it, Ryu? Unplug his controller? What do you do in that situation?
As a Bridget player, that could be a 6-4, maybe like a 7-3 matchup. You could do that every single time. Just get a life lead on Zappa and just like zoom out of there. Like,
that's what we were saying too. Like that Bridget's one of those characters that if you play Runaway, she might be in a different kind of like tiering. But you know,
the Gambit, what is that? Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the Gambit glitch.
Yeah. I think you do a snapback, right? Yeah.
I mean, Bridget, you could print. I feel like you could do that with her.
That's true, Ukyo, huh? You probably could do that with Bridget. I think it also comes down to can you even get the first hit on some characters, right? Like, I would say that it's pretty hard for Bridget to even hit Zappa right with her buttons because Fire Slash doesn't hit her. Doesn't hit. Zappa,
even if she does hit, the damage output's really low. Just in general, right? Like, across the board against any character, like she really has to just chip away. Like before, she used to do crazy damage, but now it's just really inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny.
Robokai. Oh, this is this is one of the better.
Wait, let's see what Storm said about this one real quick. I'm curious. I think. So what did M Song say? Let's see here. Let's compare it to where Zappa's 3. They think this is the battle of the century. Yeah, they both put 3s. They put a convincing 3s. Oof. They must really feel it when you play Zappa there, like when you fight Zappas. All right. Go ahead.
He hit the matchup. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's like a 7-3 matchup.
Yeah, they feel it's heavy. They feel it really hard, I guess. Let's see what you got.
For me, I think so maybe it would be a 7-3 if he got sword every single time, right? But he doesn't get sword every time, right? So he gets like ghost or dog sometimes randomly, but they're all good.
Okay.
So that's why. So I'm kind of weighing like a lot of these like matchups based on also the RNG factor.
That's why I don't think they are. And you made a really good claim about this. Like you have to understand that there's a chance where I just don't get what I need, right? So, right.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get what you need, and if the Robokai player has like really good momentum, and I end up getting dog, but the dog just is out of position. Just a lot of little things can happen. But if I get the sword right, that's pretty much like a 7-3. If I get him pinned down. But otherwise, I still think it's tough, but I feel like it's more like 6-4, right? So I don't know. There's just so many like the RNG variables, like they do put in a huge factor in how these matches can turn out. Because the Zappa player could be like having a huge, snowball like super fast in the round, but towards the end, I got hit, and I keep on getting these summons at the wrong time, and it could change.
Right? Yeah, I didn't realize too like how much getting a random summon can also be detrimental, right? Like I think we all like a lot of us like the non-Zappa players go, "Damn dog took the hit for you because you got a random dog." Right? That's what I think of. Like that's my complaint usually. But I also forget you can get a ghost, and then you could have been doing a motion right there, and you start eating it really hard for that, right?
Yeah. When you get those certain summons that you don't need, you just have to be so like prepared to just deal with whatever's going to happen, right? Like, and you have to be like, no matter which summon you get, you're comfortable at any given point. So, but that's the hard part about using Zappa is just like when those high tense matches go on. Like, let's say you're fighting Chip or Amelia, and you're like, oh shit, I got the good item. I want to hold on to this. Oh, I got hit by fucking Gamma Blade. Oh, now I got the dog. Shit, this is not going to help.
Right, you're right.
So it's like, yeah. So it goes more consistent control. Yeah, but the thing is, in this particular matchup, it's just really bad for Robokai. Like I think all the summons are good, so it's definitely I would say like a 6-4. I mean, Robokai can win this, but he would just have to, catch uh, Zappa pressing buttons at the wrong time. Just a lot of things that have to be played very clean, um, very
Mhm.
precise to the matchup specifically, and just understanding, when to. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really tough for him.
No,
Very, very tough.
I believe it because from like even back in the day, when my Stormlock would play my friend Razorburn, and he would use Zappa, and then all I could ever hear is, "How do I hit this character?" Because I
Yeah.
think the common complaint is probably going to be 5K will straight up stuff 2K for him, right? And
Oh,
then
yes.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. He shuts down a lot of his normals.
yeah, you could call out a lot of his normals. I think Far Slash will also lose to 6P. So like you can
Oh
make the
yeah.
matchup feel really uncomfortable for him just for trying to like play normally. So that's where I
Mhm.
think a lot of the anguish comes from. It's not even before summons, right? You also have to deal with all these, but it's common Zappa things too, though. Like that actually applies across the board. But I think for
Yeah.
Robokai, hits really hard because he wants to use 2K, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm gonna pick you," like ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also his 236S stuffs a lot of his approaches mid screen too.
Which one's 6S by the way?
Uh, it's a sliding sword move. The bridle
Oh, okay, yeah,
slash.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So I
It'll
imagine
either
there.
clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna either clash or just really stuff the opponent's move.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
It's
funny.
usually counter hit, which is crazy. Like the horse move, I was like, dude, I can't believe this beats the horse move. Pretty nuts.
Dude, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, pretty
Okay.
pretty tough matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Vomit, like Vomit's annoying for Urukai because
I
if
think you can say every blind's probably gonna be. It's gonna hinder him because Robokai's blinds
yeah,
are they're weird. They're not. I always say this, like Robokai's blinds are very odd. They're not quick. They're not fast. They're just a weird kind of normal, I would say, for all like across the board. So it's like it's kind of weird for him, I think.
yeah, and also here's the other thing too. Zappa can actually dash under like his air missiles like really easily. Even when you do like the big spread one,
Mm-hmm.
the homing missiles, like he
Yeah.
could just run underneath and even if you do two of them, you tiger knee two of them in there, it doesn't matter. Like he
Right.
dashes under like super quick. I mean, you could do it really close to the ground, but I mean, it's not a big deal just to super jump and just get away from that, right?
Right.
So, uh, but yeah, but still, like dashing under that is a problem too. Like he basically gets a free combo after it.
Right.
Uh, okay, now we can move on to Order Soul.
Order Soul.
This is very similar to regular Soul.
Right.
Uh, Order Soul is I think he's a good character against Zappa, but he kind of have the same problems, similar to Soul and Kai, right? Characters with DP, like yeah, just easy to punish. It's easy to read his moves, like his special moves. And then let's say you're summonless as Zappa, you could DP punish a lot of his stuff, his Bandit Revolver, um, and also his slide. You could actually DP that stuff too. The Gunblaze, you could DP that,
Luxury.
or throw it. 6P, because 6P underneath Rocket, which is crazy. It goes like straight clean underneath that and counter hit. But yeah, all the summons do really well against him too. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. Ghost actually is really good against him because of Order Soul's like arc of his jump.
Yeah.
So if you try to regular jump, I could just do H Ghost, and it does like the weird 45-degree angle
Right.
uh, toss,
Yeah, this one, right?
and that.
Is that the one that bounces on when it hits the floor?
No, that's the kick version. So the
Uh,
kick version bounces low to the ground, but it has the same purpose that it has for Soul. Like it gives them the same issues the same way it does for him. So it's the H Ghost is really good for aerial stuff. You don't have to do anything fancy either. You could just toss like H Ghost just to stop the air, and then throw a kick one just to see what he does on the ground. Like yeah. But the one thing Order Soul does have is air normals are really good. So once he gets his momentum going and you manage to get his pressure up and you get one counter hit, yeah, Zappa's definitely going to get tons of damage taken away.
I'm trying to think of
Um,
like Order Soul. Yeah, I think because like I always say like too like Order Soul and Soul kind of are the same character. So that if your character does deal well with one, you should probably deal well with the other, right? So it seems
yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're different characters, right? But
Yeah.
essentially, but they feel the same in terms of like how they approach.
Hmm.
Even when order still don't have like a real projectile, like a fireball, like
Hmm.
it still feels like the same kind of like problems that those three characters in particular are dealing with, like
Hmm.
Kai Soul and Order Soul. So we can move on to ABBA.
Oh yeah, ABBA, huh?
This was interesting, right? Like I had to really think about this one, like
I
because I
remember
had it.
asking you about it, and you're like really racking your brain about like all these matchups. I was like, oh wow, I just assumed you murdered all the characters, but now after you, like I said, you really told me like a lot. It's interesting to get a Zappa's like mindset on what they think about a lot more. Yeah, but yeah. So go ahead and shoot on ABBA.
So with ABBA, I felt like Zappa does really well against her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when she doesn't drink her blood packet early on, and you manage to just get a sword right away,
Mm-hmm.
and you manage to make her block, knock her a few times, and she's in a corner. Then, dude, she's basically gonna have a rough time unless she uses meter to get out of there and stuff. But she has to use so many resources just to get out of the most simplest thing that Zappa has, right? So
Right.
it's heavy on meter management to escape. You got to play risky against Zappa, like, but when you take those risks, like, there's a good chance that Zappa can reversal. Like when you do Danzai and he's naked, he could DP. But if he also has dog, he could stuff the second head of Danzai and just get a knockdown after it. Like,
Right. I think
but
Zappa's
the
really
thing
good at
is,
getting. Oh, sorry, go.
oh, no, no, you go.
Yeah,
What's
no,
up?
because I'm thinking Zappa's also really good at getting those quick knockdowns too, right? Because he's so like he's not really not
Hmm.
doing big damage, right? But he's really good at getting those like just random hits in. You know what I mean? Like random small hits.
Yeah.
So it feels like
Mhm.
her life bar is like it doesn't. She's activating sounds so detrimental almost to her.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but I do feel she's an amazing character too when she gets 50% meter in Maroha, right? So she gets the Goku Maroha. So I mean, at that point, Zappa's luck has reduced greatly. But I still feel like he could still deal with her pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Summons like Ghost, Dog, Sword. Um, yeah, she has to really work hard to get in. But like you said, also Zappa has like easy time knocking her down. So
Like
uh,
like generic ghost
yeah,
cross up sounds like it's really annoying. But for like ABBA, this could actually just be detrimental, right? Getting it like just jumping hard slash ghost and not blocking that correct, like oh, I'll feel it. Think, but I don't know if you actually want to do that against Danzai though. I don't know how you feel about doing that.
yeah, I don't know. Like Danzai is such a scary move, but I just learned to like just like any other characters with DP, you just have to respect that zone,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then fortunately for Zappa, he has a lot of tools that doesn't have him to sacrifice going up close. He could just toss out Ghost or use Dog or Sword, and they're
Mm-hmm.
all like long range, right? So
Right.
I don't have to really worry about Danzai stuff if I get Abba knocked down. And if she does, then one of those items will definitely uh, clip her. So yeah, I mean he doesn't do bad, but she is explosive. She could kill Zeppa, but for her to land that hit is the hard part for her. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Also, her
Uh.
Rekkas, and when she delays the Rekkas and she's trying to commit to the third one, like Zappa could DP it. Like,
Oh, I
it,
always yeah. Zappa does have a DP. A really
yeah,
annoying
and
DP.
so it's like I think he could be punishable after that, but like I don't know. I think the spacing might be different in that situation where if she did block, she'll be pushed away just far enough, so
But
it
yeah.
just resets.
I think
But
one thing too about Zappa's DP is that depending on spacing or like how late it hits, like in the active frames, it becomes different on Blockstun, right? Which is actually something that is
yeah,
really
exactly.
trolly. It's really trolly if you're not aware of it. I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's really trolly.
That's why I like doing the dash DP sometimes a lot of times because what I do is I carry the momentum from the dash and I do an early
Yeah.
summon motion.
Hmm.
So it carries the invincibility into the dash and moves me slightly forward too while
Right.
it's active. And then by towards the end, it should have reached you at like max range. So the spacing, the pushback of that plus the DP, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's actually a really powerful. I was talking to Chad about that. I was like, "This is actually really strong." And then we talked about the
yeah,
numbers of it. It's actually like if you don't see, yeah, because you have to punish it differently than if it was like a point blank TP, right? It's a completely different
right.
punish. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a slight pushback on it too from the dash.
Hmm.
So But
Yeah.
also from max range, some characters can punish it, but you gotta have like normals that can reach that far, or like force breaks or special or supers.
Right. Right.
Um,
I'm just going cheap, 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 cheap. No, but it's not. It's that. It makes sense to me too. At the same time now.
like
Okay.
Cliff has really good punishes though against Zappa stuff.
I wonder if Ono's gonna chime in on this a little bit. I'm curious if he's still here.
Like
We
when
got.
Zappa does the sword slide, you can actually just do
Wait.
what's that?
Oh, we're not doing
Two
Cliff. We're doing
H.
Justice. Justice is next. My bad. That's
Oh
cool.
man, Justice. I've been playing Justice a lot against that character a lot. This is a bad matchup for Justice. I feel in the bigger
Um,
picture, right? I mean, you
yeah.
got great players like what's his name, Polta. He's a
Mhm.
monster. Like he's just crazy. But even at the highest play, I felt like he has a hard time in general. Like Ghost is really good at keeping Justice from moving too much. Like, even when she could already charge the nuke and the missiles flying towards you slowly, but having the Ghost there to block can reduce the forward movement from Justice easily while the bomb is out, so you can kind of hop over while you're spamming the Ghost toss.
Mhm.
Sword is really good. Even when Justice has a counter, you can stall your pressure because Justice is so big. There's no reason to keep poking at her. You could just poke
Mhm.
one at slowly and just see how she reacts, and just push the button that accordingly to where she's out on the screen. So if she's jumping, just do 2H. Like there's no way she's gonna get around that. It's like same problem with Potemkin. Like he can't just move around the screen. So it's just better to just let your sword stay there, just chill, like little pokes at a time, just to keep them in check and
Right.
position. And if you move, just if they jump, say, oh, 2 hard slash, and then 6 hard slash to bring them back down, and then while having the sword next to them again, and then things like that. So Justice have the same kind of problem, but Justice is bigger, so you could do some crazy combos with
Oh
her with the
no.
sword. So it's hard to get out. Dog is good too. So let's say if you get the dog out and there's missiles flying at you and there's a low one, sacrifice the dog and just resummon until you get like sword or ghost, right?
Mhm.
So the ghost is like kind of like a good meat shield in that situation. So you always are getting like some kind of good item uh, in that respect. But the dog is good too. Like if you manage to get the dog behind Justice and you do your pressure, like there's not much you can do unless she
That sounds
flashbacks.
awful. To have the dog behind Justice. That sounds absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, oh for sure. But if the Justice player, like somehow knows how to slash back the pressure at some points, and maybe, but it's really hard for Justice to get out of Zappa pressure. She's just so big.
Right.
Um, so yeah, pretty bad matchup for Justice.
Mike, do you have any words of
Uh,
or commentary on this before? Besides, Sword is pretty good.
oh, in this one,
Just
you mean in the Justice matchup?
yeah, Justice versus
Oh,
Mecha's a Justice player, so he's just like, yeah, Sword's pretty good. Slash back everything. Is that the anti Zappa strategy? It
so
might.
sorry. Oh, I see it now.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, slashback is good. Like if you manage to slashback the half circle back hard slash, that
Mm-hmm.
move in particular, is a that is a good thing because it basically stalls everything that I do because I'm still in my recovery frame. And if you have like a force break, let's say as a Justice player, you slash back that move
Mm-hmm.
and you can force break teleport. There's a good chance you're going to hit me during my recovery frames.
Right.
Still from that alone, it's like huge. Unless I FRC it, but even then, that would be tough. But that would put you right next to me in a bad situation while the sword is like completely on the opposite side of the screen and you're right next to me so you could do your 6P or 2K setups.
Yeah, that's something I realized too. Like Justice is always scary if she
Yeah.
has meter. And I
Oh,
think that's a
that's
match.
another thing too.
Yeah.
Deus, Mick Deus, like he's right. Like his sword super is it the Michael Blade, the one that goes full screen? It's actually
You are
really
right.
good.
Yeah.
That's a good super though too against
Mm-hmm.
Zappa. But it's like you really have to call out like that move. Like it might be good during like sword pressure maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because like I said, the sword has a lot of recovery frames. So if the sword attack whips from the screen, maybe you could just throw the Michael blade during that time and just clip me, and then set up your missiles.
Right. Something I
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
trying to
definitely.
just
I mean, it's. But I think once justice gets in, like I feel like for a lot of characters, right? Once those characters get in, you respect that DP, like just being aware that it's good, but just play a little more patient. I feel like you should be able to handle Zappa, in on the Oki.
mhm.
I just have a feeling when a lot of people play Zappa, they just kind of go in and they want to push buttons, right? Like you really
Yeah.
can't do that. But when they deal with good players that give me a hard time, what they do is they sit outside of the DP range and they either wait for me to DP or they wait for me to or they wait for the signal that I got an RNG summon. But
Right.
during the startup of the RNG summon aside from the dog, I can't really commit to a move immediately. So when they see that, they're like, oh, I could, if they're chip, they could just do close S, right, or far
Mhm.
S or whatever, and then apply and keep. They just continue doing their shit. So yeah, I mean, just make sure to you know just play very careful uh, when when you have Zappa on the ground, knocked down, and on his wake up, just respect that DP range.
Hey Kenji,
What's up?
you still have Cliff.
Oh yes, yes. Sorry.
I was like closing statements. Then I was like, I'm gonna tell me
All
about
right.
Cliff.
Cool. I do feel that, okay. So I
What's up?
did get to experience a really strong clip recently
Mr.
with
Host that's on
he's
over there, right? Yeah.
Tulsa. Like he's amazing with Cliff,
Right.
and it's kind of shed a new light. It's like, oh man, it's like I really don't know how to deal with this matchup,
Right.
but it's all of our matches came really close, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like the thing is, it's so it's so hard for Cliff though. Like even when I was fighting Hussa, like he was having a hard time with goes, like getting in.
Mm-hmm.
Like his defense is amazing, but even like in the general neutral, it felt like anyone else I fought, right? Like when they're trying to get in as a Cliff, like uh, he can't just do the alley oop move, the
The
pole
whole he
vault,
flips over.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Over because up go stops that on the ground. The K goes kind of forces pressure. There's a lot of things that he loses to, like especially with the sword. Like a lot of them try to wake up with the taunt, I believe, right, where he does like an evade kind of thing.
Right. Yes. His DP kind of thing.
Is that his taunt? I believe that's his taunt, right?
Which one? His taunt's the when he does the fireball, like the words. It's his
Okay, so
Bakemon.
it's not
Yeah.
taunt. It's the move where it breaks his back,
Yeah. It's
right? Where you
214
lean.
P. I think it's 214 P. I forget what it is. But yeah, it's like he's basically it's like a dodge from CVS2, right? Where he just dodges, and
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's like a dodge move.
yeah,
So he does like, but if I have the sword, right,
yeah.
I don't have to worry about that. Like I could just sit there and just throw it out, and if it whips, I'll just chill there for a minute until he recovers, and then continue pressure. Um, so he just has a lot of good answers for those things. The dog is really good too. Dog is really good against Cliff, as both as a meat shield and in pressure. Like it's hard for him to get out of that stuff. Um, but Cliff can still use that evade move though during the dog pressure, so it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Cliff also can deal with Zappa really well. It's just you have to play very very optimal, uh, yeah, to really make it work for Cliff. It's not
Makes sense.
impossible, but I would say of all the 5-5 matchups, like he probably has an easier time than most. I feel
Gotcha.
from the cast uh, against Zappa. So because his normals are good, his fireball pressure is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2H to is it 2H or is it clip bar S into projectile?
So
But
I just learned that recently. Like 2H is like where he stabs the floor. Like not stabs the floor, where he pokes you on the like really low play. His lowest
yeah,
stab. Yeah, and it's also a low. Yeah.
he has a pressure string, right, where he does like, is it like far S into fireball? And it does far S into fireball again? Because it's like the fireball is like plus frames, right? So it's
Yeah.
like the S fireball I meant. Yeah, so you could do like S fireball, FRC into pressure mix-ups or whatever. So that's really good against Zappa too.
Mm-hmm.
You can mess with him, like kind of poke and do double fireball Because what I usually try to do against Cliff is like when I see them doing poking, like far S, fireball, whatever, I try to wait for the fireball to end so I could DP through and with the far S and get a
Right.
summon. And so he's still recovering. So it's like, oh, I get to jump and maybe my summon might be good enough where it allows me to either throw Ghost or
Right.
better if I have swords, I could just like poke my way out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, it's very situational. Like, but I think Zappa just edges out that matchup just because he kind of controls the screen much easier than he can.
Weird movement too, right?
Mhm.
Gotcha, gotcha. So that was
I
about
think
right.
Cliff is amazing. In my
He's
opinion, I think he's like a sleeper, man. He's
I think Cliff
something.
and Justice are both the characters that are like they're it's crazy that they're actually not that new anymore, right? But like, they're still characters that people that have potential, I feels like. Uh, Cliff has that solid knockdown mix up too, right? Once he knocks you down, you're like, oh no. He'll taunt you. Like, oh.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
hey, wait, can Cliff fuzzy you?
yo, he can.
Oh, that's
Zap.
funny. Okay,
No,
that's
no, no,
funny.
no, not Zappa. I don't think he can.
Oh. I was
He
wondering
can't
if he
do
can or
jump
not.
K. I know he can't do like instant jump K or something, right? Is that jump K?
I know.
Or
You know what I'm talking about, right? He has that ability like where he like jumps on top of you and does another jumping attack, and you're like, ah. You've probably seen it at the very least, right? Like in other matchups.
I think he could do it. I think he could do it if he caught me standing up, right, on the
Mm,
person in front of the jump
right.
in.
Oh, but
So
if you're
when he does
crouching,
it,
there's no way, right? There's absolutely.
there's no way. Yeah, I'll get hit if I crouch for sure.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's one thing that's hard about him, right? Because he kind of floats kind of slow. So when he
mm-hmm.
does like a jump cancel, it's like, oh, he's gonna fall down. It's like, nope, he's like still up in the air like
So yeah,
Mario.
for like the extra like 5 frames or something ridiculous number. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
he's got this big ass button that covers everything.
I had a choice between learning Cliff or Justice, and the Justice boys down here sold me on learning Justice. Which is it's like before I talked to you, I was doing Justices, and I was like, she sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm gonna go learn her.
Dude, man, it's a robot, man. It's like a Gundam, man. A cool ass one.
Yeah, it's just fun playing her, dude. But yeah, dude, you just got. Are you done with Cliff?
Yeah,
You
I'm
think,
done. I mean,
dude? Yeah,
I tried to break it down like I don't know as simple as I can for these guys, but yeah, in general, like this is how I feel about the matchup,
yeah,
based on my experience. But
right.
also, like I said, I know some people feel strongly about that matchup, and they say it's like 7-3. Well, I think it's because that I don't know if they're focusing. Because for me, this is kind of like also consolidating, like the possibilities of the RNG stuff too, right? Like the RNG
Yeah, yeah,
factor.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like I said, the chart on here will be way different. So if I said if it's just sword, yeah, like it would be like 7-3 for a lot of people.
Really?
But mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I have to kind of consider like yeah, like you have the ghost, you have the dog, and you also have Rao.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Rob
Well,
very much in the matchups as a situation too, which is kind of,
yeah,
but
because let's say opponent, it doesn't matter which character they're using, and they're aware of the matchup, so they know how the flow works. So if you're not on the same page as them, then it's going to be hard for Zappa because
mhm.
they're going to, you're gonna be able to adapt and be like, oh, he's going to look out for this, or things change really quickly. So, but yeah, I mean, but I think he still does pretty well across the board, like
Right.
more than average. So like he is pretty strong. I would say he's definitely top tier, like because of his
Yeah.
options and
Well, I think what's funny too is that like a lot more characters are the tiers aren't that far apart. That's a big thing too, right? Like you're top tier, but you're not even like that super top tier, which is kind of funny in my opinion, right? For all the characters, like the
Mhm.
gap it doesn't seem that big. Well, I don't know. What do you think so
I
far?
know. I also know there's a lot of people here that don't
Mm-hmm.
play a lot of like either they haven't played a lot of Zappa or this is their first time because there's a lot of new resurgence of new players playing the game,
Right.
which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just recommend for the new players just to like the sword is definitely very annoying. Is
Mm-hmm.
just go into training mode and just play with it, right? Like play with the sword, set up the just see how it works, just see how it looks like because the
Mm-hmm.
more familiar you get with the options, like the Gatling routes, it makes it a lot easier. And
Yeah.
also, like I said earlier, like there's no reason to really block until you see two hard slash, right? In a
Mm-hmm.
pressure string. Um, but there are times, like I said, the only hardest thing with the sword that's hard to block is the instant jump S and H, like jump
Right.
SH, FRC, land jump SH. land, do another combo. Because that's like really hard to see. But the general strings, like 2H, yeah, a lot of people still get clipped by that, but you don't have to crouch. You shouldn't crouch after you see 2H. You just block high until he touches the ground again because he doesn't have any low options after that. So it's a good thing to remember.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned too, right? If your character is short enough when they crouch, right, and you do 2H, you just run full
Yeah,
steam ahead. Just
you,
run
yeah, you can just
full
go
steam ahead. Yeah, just go.
full speed ahead and just apply pressure because all you want to do is just make him block at least. Because when
Yeah.
you make him block, you can't really, and you let's say you're like Jam or Chip, like what am I going to do with my sword? Like it has so much startup.
Mm-hmm. You
It
don't have
moves
your summon
forward too.
anymore, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically my sword doesn't exist at that point. Like if you're making me block oppressively and I have sword, maybe I could try to DP or super or dead angle. Most
Right.
likely I'll try to dead angle. So, but yeah, if Zappa makes you block the sword and he pushes out, like you have to work your way back in.
Right.
So the key is to get in there and just apply pressure. Just don't let him breathe. Like during be oppressive, blocking and stuff. Like just constantly just go at it. Just don't let him, mashing buttons. Try to
Yeah.
catch mashing buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
good thing.
yeah. I mean, so I think when today was like the first time where I actually just sat down and play like to use the Zappa, and I just like, oh yeah, yeah. It's like you get once you get really familiar with how you have to like it's just a general rule for any new player, right? Get familiar with the strings that are making you really uncomfortable with, right? You will learn so much so fast just by doing that.
Hmm.
Mm, that's what I would recommend as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, if you're having trouble with any character, just dabble with them.
yeah,
Like,
definitely. Especially in Guilty Gear, right, where the characters are so diverse. Definitely
oh
take a
yeah,
look.
it helps a lot.
Yeah,
It gives you like. I remember the first time I was so annoyed by Kai. Right, he's
mm-hmm.
such a good character. I was like, "Man, how do you deal with this guy? He's so freaking annoying." Because the first time playing, I was like, "Man, this asshole just like does all this. I can't do anything."
Yeah.
But yeah, when I went in training mode and I actually just like sat down, just push buttons or try to replicate the combos and just be like, oh, I can actually, like try this on myself and see how I can get out of it. And but yeah, to me, that's like the best way to really familiarizing the situation or watch videos, right? And try to replicate what they do, like
Yeah.
watch YouTube, pause, watch one section of the string, try to replicate it in training mode if you can, and just do that and set it up.
Yeah. Or just try to find Kenji somewhere. He's always playing, and get that one
Yeah,
match of
because
Zappa in there, and then you'll have that replay forever.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of my friends been telling me like that I played recently. They just been trying to lie out how to get out of my sword stuff, and they've been doing it pretty well actually. It's
Yes,
kind of
I was.
surprising how
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
like a lot of the new replay feature gives people like a lot more understanding of how to deal with those specific situations, right?
yeah.
Because it's either you ask for people for tons of matches until you get it right, or you
Hmm.
guess right what the solution is, or you go just do it in training mode and just get to the specific moment that you're looking for, and then just try to attack that angle.
Yeah.
Um, it's such a great feature.
Right. Is there any feature that or anything you've been labbing against in particular using the replay feature?
Uh,
I
no,
haven't
I
done
think
anything really like at all. I was like every time I go and go, I look at all your matches and go, maybe next time. That's what I look at. I go,
well,
I probably should learn this, but I'm like, eh. But I was just curious if there's something you're like labbing.
I have a bunch of old like save footages of me versus Cascade because he was doing some shit that I had no idea how I got hit by that, right?
Right.
So he does setup, and this one setup I remember. So he knocked me down in the corner. I was replaying it. He did some kind of knockdown, did net, called beast, jumped up in the air. So the beast hit me from the back, right? No,
Right.
there was a tree in front of me. Sorry, it wasn't a net. It was a tree.
Right.
So he called beast, and as I was waking up, it pushed me towards the tree, and he just jumped straight up, like just vertically,
Uh
right, just straight up. And then it crossed me up somehow, but I was still in front of him. It,
huh.
it was
Like what?
the weirdest shit. I was holding block back the whole entire time, but he just jumped straight up in the corner. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into training mode. But dude, it took me 5 minutes to figure out like why am I still getting hit? I'm blocking right, I'm looking at it.
Did
But
you
I
ever
didn't
figure it
know
out?
like huh? Oh,
Did
I
you
figured
figure?
it out. So that setup, when the X beast hit, you immediately you just have to trust yourself. You just have to press back immediately, like the opposite direction. without even having to think about the logic of like, oh, he's you know touched
Jumping
him in front
straight
of me.
up.
Yeah,
What?
you have to block the other way. You have to block left, right, like immediately.
Wow.
Like it's insane the amount of craziness you have to do to block that setup.
That's fun.
It's so crazy.
I didn't expect it to be like that early of a block. That's crazy. Yeah, if you fight Keisuke, you'll probably have to deal with that mix if you ever get to the corner. There's no way he's not going to do
Oh,
it because it's cheap. It's cheap.
that shit is
It's
yeah,
cheap.
it's super cheap. Good
Um,
thing is if you manage to block that, he is free for you get a free air throw, you get
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because he's just jumping, right? Um,
yeah, you just jump and do whatever. Like yeah. I mean he could do I
uh,
don't know, if he sees you blocking him, maybe he might do like a Badlands in the air.
wait,
But that's just so big brain. You gotta be super big brain to do it. But Kesuke is super big brain, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did some shit like that, right?
yeah,
It's like, oh, you blocked my mix up. I must do Badlands.
yeah. Keisuke does some darkness setups. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you: are you okay, man? You've been talking for a long time, so I don't know if you want to break or if you want to call it or whatever.
No, I mean, I'm on my last drop of coffee, doing
Oh,
pretty good.
okay, cool. Now, because I'm gonna just say yeah. Because I typically only stream for till 11 my time, right? Just 30 minutes. So, just FYI for
Okay,
that.
yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't
I
know if you
mean,
want to just
not
hang
much
out
else.
for a little bit, because you, dude, I gotta say, super thank you, man. I can tell you right now, from hearing you just talk about everything you did about your character, you must love Zappa. You must absolutely love that character.
I like Zappa. I like
I
Zappa
don't
a
get.
lot.
Oh, you must love. No, I guessed wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
Is there?
what's up?
So you only like Zappa? You don't love Zappa? He's not the love of your life in terms of fighting game character.
No, I like it. I mean, I like I like tons of characters in Guilty Gear,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But Zappa is just so unique. Like I just like how, and not just that, but his tool sets, they're
Mm-hmm.
very like, creative compared to the rest of the cast. Like I've always liked the free characters, right? In fighting games, like Exit, I was using Bedman,
Mm-hmm.
and in Samurai Showdown back in the day, like Sam Show 1 and 2, I was using Genma or Genen, I think, the green dude
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the claw. Love that
Oh man, that
character.
was so long ago, man. I don't remember any of those characters' names. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the weirdo characters, man. They're kind of they're very fun.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if the chat has random questions and whatnot, and I'll just poke Project for a little
Sure.
bit. So yeah,
I'm
Mike just
sorry,
asked.
it's boring, like going over these matchups, but there's a lot of yeah, it's a lot of
I think
talking.
it's So I only so there's a lot of people like just go, this is really interesting, and so like yeah, you don't think about it, but like a lot of people are like, whoa, that's what you think. It's fun seeing your numbers versus other people's numbers right away. So it's really interesting. But what was I gonna say? So
Yeah.
let me read Mike's question real quick. I'll ask what's KB Nova's opinion on RAW in general. I've heard people
Uh.
call it a joke.
Okay. So yeah. So okay. So I kind of went over this
Yeah,
earlier.
we didn't do it. We stopped at the post. My
Yeah.
bad.
No, it's fine. No, I'll just say it again. But basically, Rao is like he is the weakest of the group, right?
Mhm.
Current in the current state in terms of consistency and what those tools can do with the three regular summons compared to Rao, where he has like Fireball and
Mhm.
DP, but they all have like tons of recovery and startup. His normals are good, like pretty solid, but that's about it, right? Like he becomes like a Ryu character, like a really buff Ryu character.
Mhm.
Um, and he doesn't have any like you can't do really crazy pressure with it. He's basically like a neutral character, a really good zoning in some aspects. But yeah, I mean, he is definitely the worst of the bunch, but he's not a bad summon. You know what I mean? Like when you get him, it's like you're not gonna be like, oh, I got fucking row, my life's over, I'm dead. No, like you could actually kill an opponent in like two combos, right? Even if you have 100% tension, you could probably get them down to 70% from full life, like easily. Um, but uh, but he is the weakest one, but he is still solid. You know, um, yeah, he's still pretty good.
There you go, Mike. I guess Uka's question. What was Uka's question? I just saw it scroll by. Oh, welcome back, Tron. What are the best moves to slashback for Zappa?
Uh, is against Zappa.
You said H, right? The two hitting H, right? It's a pretty good one, and the right.
So no, so you could do 6H. So with the sword, I'll probably break it down. Like with the sword, you want to slash back the half circle back heart slash, the sword swipe.
Oh, right. You can react
The
to that
base
too.
tool.
Is it one hit or two hits?
It's one hit.
Oh, okay, so it's actually not a bad thing to learn.
Yeah, so you
This
so
one right here.
you slash back that, he loses a lot of steam, with the sword because he has a lot of recovery, so once you slash back it, you basically can just dash forward. Like,
Right.
literally just run instantly after it and get past the sword. Um,
That's a big point too. That you actually want to get the sword behind you, right? Because the only option is going to be to do the DP or the
yeah,
slash, right? The stab.
yeah. If
Which
you
are both.
slash back that, you see how long it takes to come back, for example? Like, imagine if you slash back that point,
Like, literally, yeah.
you can just run in and you get, like, a free combo.
Some guys probably even reach you from like this distance probably doesn't even feel safe in all honesty, right? Probably like right out. Just
Oh,
like
yeah,
look.
like, I'll do, like, do your pressure and finish it with, whatever, half circle back R slash from
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, even from there, like, Hulsa, this Cliff, he slashed back that move, he just runs in and just pokes me out. I was like, "Oh, great."
What do I
I had
do?
no idea. I had no idea. Dude, that's such a good answer. And, it really changed the flow of my play, like, I don't go for that. I ended up stopped using it, so
Yeah.
it's really good to do. I just recommend people to just do that, as much as possible.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
Uh,
another thing too. Like key special moves are F slash backing these, especially things that are like telegraphed enough that you can go, oh, time to slash back. There you go. All right. Any other moves? Hossa! Konbanwa.
konbanwa.
Konbanwa. He's only done the cow faces. I'm wondering if he'll say anything else. I'll start yelling at him.
He's probably in here to just to see my opinions. He's like, I don't agree with his opinions after I roasted him the other night.
I showed him the chart. Wait, let me see if I can get him. Oh, he didn't do
He's
it.
probably like, this is strong with Zappa.
Like Tsuyo-san though.
I just washed him up with my little old cliff.
えっと、放送さん、いますか忙しいですか I'm like just speaking like as simply as possible. Anji55 was Zappa. I want to see if he'll do it. I'll
Yeah,
ask him. I've been trying to get the Japanese players to do it, and I thought Keisuke was gonna do it, but I think I linked him the locked one, and now I feel bad because I linked him the one that you couldn't edit.
I can't believe Zappa's top tier, like above Testament. I can't see that, dude.
Wait, what happened?
He put Zappa. He considers Zappa stronger than Testament. It's
I
like, oh,
wonder.
Zappa's.
I wonder if he has the same mentality because he doesn't. Does he play Zappa?
Oh, no. So he doesn't know the pain that we go through because
No,
his
no. I
Testament,
think
dude.
what it is that it really helps to hear like the Zappa player explain that you are playing with RNG, and then where a lot of people just go, "Oh, you get sword and you win," right? So that might be a factor too. That's how, but maybe not.
Yeah, that
He's
could be
probably too
interesting.
wise in for it. He might be just playing for too long.
Yeah, there
Bosas.
might be it might be interesting though to see his perspective on that too, because he might feel the same. Like you said, he might have a view of like why he's convinced that Zappa is better than Testament, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's based on people's experience. I feel like a lot of these matchups and stuff, they're just based on their biased opinions of whoever made him or whatever, right?
Mm, you're
But
right.
um, it'll be interesting to hear. It would be interesting to see
If they would.
why he thinks Zappa is like strongest, right?
Um.
So
Yeah. I'm gonna try again. That's why I was like hoping at post on because it's a lot easier for me to like speak it than type it out because I type so slow when I do Japanese. I'm more so better at just reading it and then and speaking now. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, man, that we get K-Skate because I know K-Skate was gonna show it to other people, but I think I showed him the wrong version. I feel really bad, like really bad.
yeah,
So yeah. Oh, sorry, what?
oh no, you go ahead.
So no, I was gonna say just read Uku's question. What about dog pressure? Which I'm gonna just assume that if it's tight, it's gonna be pretty rough, right? Typically, is it tight?
It's pretty tight.
Mm,
But you can still IB. So there's a lot of people don't know that you should be IBing the dog
the hits
more than
themselves.
Zappa. Yeah,
Oh,
because
really?
like you Momi IB the dog hit, like you recover almost instantly. So let's say if I did like anything
Cool.
into cross up jump H and I did like 5D with the dog or
Mhm.
something, and you managed to block my cross up jump H, like if you and then if you IB that, like you could throw me basically in between the pressure. Like it's this jump H is good, but it's not that good. Like in terms of like frame advantage, unless I
Um,
do it super. unless they do it super deep, but for the
You're,
pressure,
you're doing it up
I
here
feel-
because you just want the bare minimum, right? So you get the pressure going rather than like,
yeah,
yeah,
so it's like that. Or if it's like spacing dependent, right? Like I could space myself out
yeah.
far enough with the
I
jump H
wonder.
where
Yeah, yeah.
but I usually put 5D in there, so it pushes you towards me, towards
Hmm.
the jump hard side. So uh, yeah.
You're watching me just look really bad with Zappa right now because I'm just like, all
Yeah,
right.
you see that? You see how you, when you did the 5D, it pushed you closer to me as you landed with the jump H.
Right, because
So
it
if you
pulls
I
you in, right? Yeah.
yeah, it pulls me in, but if you IB the dog bite, the 5D,
It won't
the
push
neck
you at all,
extension
dude.
attack,
Yeah.
you can throw me out of my jump H. And also you can slash back in between the hits because all the hits that Zappa does in between the streams, they go in a rhythm. They all go in a rhythm.
I
But
don't know.
not in a not let's say like in an orderly way. but there you know, for example, like 2P, 2K, 5S, like that's pretty common or 2S. You could like slash back after 2K or something, right?
Hmm.
Um, during the pressure combos, like the high pressure ones. Or you could IB the dog bite if you get used to that timing. Um, you can IB and then slash back Zappa's attack too in
Yeah.
between those. But slashbacking is tough. Like it's just a tough thing to do, especially during sandwich stuff. But it is
Right.
possible. I have friends I play with that got used to it, and they slashback it all the time. And I don't know how they do it, but it works. They throw me out of it, or they get like a DP. Yeah, it's pretty
Look
crazy.
at something, right? Yeah.
And also in the corner when he does like 2H, 5H
Oh,
pressure.
6-3-2-1-4.
Yeah, so when Zappa does a 5H
Sorry?
2H pressure in the corner,
Six
you
three.
can throw him out of that before he hits you with the 2H in the corner. So I don't know. There's little nuances, like little tiny things that you can expose Zappa
Yeah.
with.
Also, San
Good
just
stuff.
mentioned with the half circle back hard slash, right? これか。
Oh yeah. That yes. Say yes.
はい。それも、もうじゃなくて、前に
Yes,
話した。
because he did it to me every single time.
はい。わかるわかる。これやります。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。でも、多分できないけど、頑張ります。where's
Tell him it's fantastic. It's great. It works as it's intended.
hold on. Where's Cliff? I don't gotta find Cliff real quick. I'm gonna find Cliff. Oh, there he is. There's Cliff. Cliff is on. Zappa? Where's Zappa? This is how bad it is. Like, I just don't know where any other characters are. Like, alright, 頑張ります。はい。なんというか。wait. Okay. Alright. How does it usually? You'd be like slash. What do you do normally to it? Slash.
5S2. So I do like 5S, 2S, and 5H. So I think what Hossa was looking for is the 5H. So he'll look at the 5H and then look for the sword swipe after it. So if you do 5H and do half circle back hard slash, that's like a good. So 5S, 2S, 5H.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to this Gatling, so it's taking a while to get used to. Right there, right? That's pretty normal, right?
And then so I think also looks for the 5H. And then
yeah.
大
丈夫です。多分
Ask him
細
if
さ Huh?
can you ask him if he looks for the sword swipe after the 5H? Because it's like a good indicator.
Well, he mentioned the sword swipe in particular when he just mentioned the slashback, so I'm guessing he's looking for the swipe. But let's see here. How would I say this? Where's Hono? I'm dying. ちょっと待って。死んじゃう。Wait, what do you want me asking though? If you're looking for the hard slash, then responding afterwards, or
if he's trying to attempt to slash back after he looks at my 5H with the sword. Before the half circle back hard slash comes out, right? Because since it's special cancelable, I wonder if that's like a good cue for him, if that's what he's looking for to slash back. Because if I was a player, I would be thinking the same way. Like if I saw the 5H, I would. If I were to try to slash back that sword swipe, I would do it.
So here's the problem too, though. I actually don't know how to say Guilty Gear terms in Japanese, so I'm just gonna wing it and like by demonstrating it. 放送さんとスラッシュバック時、何を見てるんですか？こちらをこれかな？これかな？違う。これとこのなんか Hard slash? Not you. What do you see? Hopefully he sees it. But I think you OB this. Are you? Let me try this real quick. I feel like I'm gonna die right here for this. Also, why is my lifeline regenerating? Where's life at, actually? Yeah, we're gonna be waiting here for a response now, so I don't... There we go. Let's try this out, though. Oh, I guess it's not even bad, right? Because all it does is knock you down anyways, even if you do miss the slashback, right? It's the end of the sequence, so... Oof.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a... それはすごくいいと思う。これ... 違う!もう一回。あー、違えた! One more time. I can do this. I believe! It's hard because the sword's also off the screen, but I think if you look for the spin, it's not too bad. And even if you mess up, right, you can't do anything afterwards, right? Yeah.
Yeah, see,
yeah, he did call it out. You're right. Ah, なるほど。すごいな。はい。ありがとうございます。本当に素晴らしいと思う。
Looking for either... Okay, so he's looking for the hard slash or 6 hard slash, right? That makes...
And you prepare for it.
So yeah, so that's why...
it's good.
Yeah, so I think those are like the cues that he was looking for.
Yeah. I think once you see it, you can prepare yourself to get ready for the slashback. なんかすごいな。おはよう。いや、ホサさん、ありがとうございます。時間あれば、これもしますか？なんだっけか。これ。待って、ちょっと待って。Where is it? I'm gonna turn it on real quick, so give me a moment while I look for this. I wanna see if he'll do it. あれ？ホサさん、これをしますか？時間あればね。ケイスケさんに聞きましたけど、なんか多分僕の間違いで失敗した。だから、ホサさん、クリプさんの場合しますか？お願いします。みんなたち多分、アメリカにはなんかすごく興味あります。
Also, B Station. So one thing good to know, because you were mentioning that sword height determines the
本当にありがとうございます。お願いします。すみません。無理なら大丈夫です。でも本当にありがとうございます。It turned so Japanese just now. It's just how it was, man, when I was over there. なんか放送さんのところへお願いします。
Tell him his clip is amazing. And if you guys can ever guys get a chance to see him online, like join his lobby and just experience his clip. Like it's really strong, very, very insightful, and also very enlightening, I guess, and humbling at the same time. Like it's like holy crap. But it's fun. He's definitely fun to play.
KBnova さんによるI just realized to say your name in Japanese too. KBnova さんによると、なんか、いや、ちょっと待って。KBnova さんによると、ホサさんもなんか立派なクリフ。だからぜひ皆さん、wait, everyone go watch Cliff. That part was supposed to be in English. yeah, なんか、なんか、本当にしますか？すごい。なんか、I'm scared. I don't want to see it. I'm scared. But also, why is Cliff over here?
Also, who labeled those?
Where?
Are there JP ones?
I tried to. So originally I was gonna ask Japan to do it, right? So I talked to Keisuke about it, and I when I linked it to him, I linked him the one where you couldn't edit it, and I made him and I left the channel. So I made a mistake.
Okay. I'm kind of curious to see what he thinks of the matchups in general too.
Yeah. So I mean, we can see like if they'll share it. I think I know they wanted to share it, so I just felt really bad. I haven't gone back to Keisuke to talk about it. So that's like on my to-do list, hopefully. I just also, but the one thing is too, I also don't want people like just spamming it to them. You know what I mean? Because this is supposed to be like, just do it, have fun with it. So I don't want people to
Oh
like
yeah.
go, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean,
So,
also all the stuff like I said too, even my opinions on those are like totally just based on what I know and have
yeah,
experienced.
it's that Kenji guy. Hey, Danny. Yeah, it's something you have to remember. This is just for fun. It's well, I mean, it's what
What's up?
it's basically a chance for you to share your experience too. It's very retroactive.
What up, my man?
um, so yeah, it's just a chance for you to reflect. Like for me personally too, it also shows me like I don't feel comfortable in this matchup. What can I learn about it? What do I need to know about it? So
Hmm.
there are some matches that are just definitely just by design bad matchups, right? Like there's just like some like that. It's just a fun exercise.
Yeah. I mean, even man, there's very few fighting games where some characters are just super solid. Like even Testament, I think has bad matchups too.
But he has bad
But
situations
they're
for sure. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's not like bad matchups. So yeah, like bad, but more like bad situations where it's his tools don't have that kind of easy access, right? Or tools.
I'm scared to look down here. I don't know. I wonder if he'll do it. We'll see. We'll just have to wait. Um, I'm learning. Yeah, see, that's why I've been enjoying doing this, right? I wish my like oh, I didn't put this in our Discord. I forgot to advertise it. Shit. But yeah. Either way, I'm gonna turn this into a YouTube video, and I think this actually came out a little bit more cleaner because I actually like thought about how to like produce it so people could actually just look at it with a little bit more interesting things going on. So we'll see. You're cool with me uploading it on YouTube, right? Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
fine. Yeah, totally.
Just don't play main. You'll be fine.
I just hope. Yeah,
Hmm.
I just hope. Don't get discouraged. If you guys face like a strong Zappa out there and there's no solutions, there is definitely options. Um,
It comes with playtime. Zappa's one of those characters that will probably
yeah,
feel a little bit overwhelming, but if you take like even when I play May, right? May was probably like she's not like she doesn't have a DP or anything, right? But it's like you have to understand like just this coming from a player trying to approach Zappa, like it's not it's it's awkward, but it's not undoable. You just have to approach it differently, right? It's kind of like how you fight Biking, right? How Bike you have to deal with Biking differently. You have to deal with Zappa differently depending on his summon, and that's just how it kind of
yeah.
works.
And also, there's also the human flaw factor, right? Like
Mm,
on paper you could be like, oh yeah, Zappa has all these amazing frames or amazing hitboxes, amazing tools, but if you play good defense, also looking out for the slashbacks, as mentioned earlier, like and get kind of getting those like polished up.
mm-hmm.
The matchups, it's not that bad against Zappa. It's just it is annoying though. Like you just have to kind of like when you get cursed with Ghost, you can't
Hold
just
it.
just really jump around and press buttons. You kind of have to kind of just play patiently until the Ghost curse runs out, or you end up getting Zappa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Um,
just don't lose your focus when you get cursed. Just play, just watch, look for the items. Also, if people don't know when certain items come out, they usually have an indicator, like the burp
oh, he's
noise.
doing it. He's doing it.
Usually,
Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, what were
that's
you saying
okay.
about what were you saying about the indicator?
Oh, the indicators for the so when you get cursed by the ghost, like
Mm.
the burp sound
Oh, yeah,
is the
I'll show
banana
that real
peel.
quick on
So
stream.
you'll always see a banana peel when you hear the burp. I'm not sure. I think it's always random where it lands on the screen. There's like a text icon that pops up,
For the ghost for
and
sure,
it's
right?
like a belch, and that throws a golf ball. So wherever the text icon pops up on the left or right, uh,
Oh, I never noticed that. Holy shit!
really,
I've never noticed the text icon until you just pointed it out. Damn.
yeah. So if you notice those text icon, like it
Here,
makes like a burp noise. So wherever
here.
the text shows up, that's the side where the golf balls are always going to come out from. Even
Is
if you
it?
switch sides, it's always going to come out from that direction.
Oh, so it decides the direction for you unless you see that's like the does the belch
Mhm.
sound change over time or is it always like once it decides it's just stuck there?
It's the same. It's the same.
Wow, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Dude, I mean, I've been playing this game for so goddamn long. I never knew that. Dang.
Also, the only thing that I can't, like I said earlier, like you cannot work with is the flower pot. Like that should drop so fast, and it's really good. It
Mm,
does like 30 damage, I believe, too, which is pretty big, sizable chunk. Like let's say you're doing some kind of air combo or
mm.
ground string, it'll just hit him and mess up your combo. And
Mhm.
sometimes you don't want that, right? Because you want to go for something more optimal. But it's not bad, but yeah, it's just hard to see. Like I can't even react to it. So when it happens, it's so fast. Um, yeah, I think the flower pot's really the cheapest one, honestly, because you could see everything else.
Yeah. Just join when I said the Tengu. Oh, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Do you mind? Yeah. Go ahead and explain it to him real quick. Do you mind?
yeah, sure. Good.
So here. So Kenshin, what Hosa was saying too, right? Especially because he does play Cliff, right? And also, KBnova seemed to have some PTSD from it now. This seems. I'm just. Uh, you want to?
It definitely eyes. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, holy shit, this guy has like the third eye, man. What the
So like
fuck?
this move right here, right? A lot of, I'm pretty sure almost all the Zappas would want to do it after, like, pretty much the same thing that you'd probably go for, right? Once he finishes Gatlings, right, it would be this sword's pretty annoying to use if you don't know what you're doing with it. You'll do two of this. That two hit move is marking the end of his string where he has to kind of commit to his move. Um, so what Zappos will do is they'll do I hate this character so much sometimes. He'll do Oh, my bad, my bad. Hold on, put it on. Yeah, that was all part of my plan, so I can prepare you guys for it. Hold on. I'm taking everything I learned from you, and now I'm going to exploit it at some point. Nah. So he was
Oh,
talking. What's up?
what's up?
No, so I'm gonna show you.
Are you still having
Yeah, I'm gonna show it real quick. So what he was saying was to do uh so like you want to slash bat. This is particularly about sword. This is everyone should be trying to aim to do this at some point in their Guilty Gear career, I suppose, right? So he'll do oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I feel so bad because that move right there, you can't even see it. This move right here, you want to aim to slash back that move in particular. And I wish I wasn't such a bad. Ugh. Um, shoot, that attack. I didn't even that's like not. So there you go. Yeah, you want to slash back that, and then you want to just run forward because what happens is that you will hopefully be able to clear the sword, right? By clearing the sword, I mean you'll have the sword behind you, and at that point, the sword can no longer attack you. And so that should be your goal. It's pretty high level, by the way. Yeah, the half circle. That's yeah, that move. You want to learn how to do that one. All right, cool. Thank you, Kenji.
Oh, no problem. Ukajiku. My first time ever doing like this tier list thing or
Yeah. Oh,
matchup
by the way,
stuff.
how was it? By the way, was it interesting at all?
Uh, it's interesting. It's definitely you know, like I said, when you sent me the link,
Mm-hmm.
I've never done like a tier list thing, so it was fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I kind of went through the list like really quick, right? But
Uh-huh.
I kind of had to think about it a little more because I felt like, man, but there's so many factors that goes into it.
For your character, sounds really hard. Actually, really tricky.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things. The RNG factors,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's just such the flow. The matches aren't very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the player that you know, like even Robokai, can you know catch Zappa, you know, on a summon that he doesn't need at that time, like a dog, and it's
Ooh.
in you know it went off in the wrong direction. That's like really bad. So things can get really sour quick for Zappa. But like I said, but Zappa's like solid. But once he gets his momentum, and you keep it going, it's really really hard to stop it. Um, but there are ways to get you back into that pushing that ball back towards him. So yeah.
There you go. You got it from the Zappa guy. uh, so yeah, sorry, because like Hosa did finish the cliff section, so that is actually done. That's the first Japanese player to fill it out. So if you guys ever have a look at that, please enjoy.
Can
Also,
I see
sorry.
that real quick?
Yeah, yeah, is it not showing? Hold on, let me put it up real quick for you. It's gonna be a little bit because I have to switch over the thing. Are you curious what Zappa is? There you guys go.
he's probably like, no man, that's 7-3 my favor, man.
He put it as a. I'll let you look for the numbers yourself, but there you guys go. There's Hosa's, and Hosa-san,
Okay, I,
hontou ni arigatou gozaimasu.
okay, where is it?
So if you want,
Oh, it's right there. Okay, I see it. I see it.
yeah.
6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5. Eddie, Potemkin. Yeah, I could. Yeah, chip. Yeah, I could see chip being very difficult for sure.
I mean, he has a.
For
I
sure.
think Chip like one thing that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Zappa 5-5.
He believes.
I could see it though. I could definitely see that. Like I said, I think it's 5-5 though. In my opinion, like even though he beat me, but I feel like it's like once Zappa gets a momentum, it's really hard for Cliff to get started for sure.
There you go.
If he feels like it's a 5, man, I agree with him too.
ホサさんがすごいな。ホサさん、これはどうだった？楽しかった？面白かった？なんか違う。面白いでした？ I gotta like be all polite. 面白いでした？楽しましたか？ I have to think really hard about being like polite when I say like some words and stuff because like I was raised by like little middle school girls. Basically, that's how I learned my Japanese. So I have to really think about how I speak.
Yeah, Justice is definitely a bad matchup for him too. He's just like he's like a little ping pong ball, you know, for those missiles. He jumps up.
I would super trust that because he approaches the matchup very differently too, right? When he walks up and starts just stabbing the balls. I do, Mike. When I talk to people that do me a favor, I'm like really thankful. But typically how I am as a person, I didn't say thank you enough to Kenji for doing this. Like that was really cool. He just gave me basically 4 hours of his day, basically, just to like hang out and just talk about matchups, right? So yeah, thank you, Kenji. Arigatou gozaimasu. Let me bow for you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Oh man, dude, thank you for giving me an opportunity to just chill and talk about this. Yeah. If anyone here is new, like in the stream, like you guys should definitely give the game a shot.
Is it still $3?
I believe I think it's on the sale still, right? Like it's like $2. Yeah, $3. Yeah, it's definitely worth. It's fun. It's got rollback. I personally, it's weird, but I like Exert a lot. I wish Exert had rollback, but since this is like the most optimal way to play, like yeah, it's hands down definitely the thing to play for sure.
Right.
If you want to play games, because yeah,
that's fine. It's the Neko is like one of the best. It's super fun, right? So I recommend it. Best soundtrack, better than Exert. I want to refund games too hard. It's pretty brutal, not gonna lie, but I think on a basic level, the game's still pretty fun, right? You run forward, you build meter. What game does that, right? You just run forward, and you have meter, run around and do supers all day. It's pretty fun.
Oh, dude! When I just hope for Strive to have a non-vocal track and also bring back all the like an option. I don't care if they do a DLC, but like the Korean tracks.
Dude, that's everyone. Every like old OG players Korean soundtrack. Please give me some form or another. $50 DLC, let's go. $50 DLC, let's go. Just give me that soundtrack, man.
It's weird, man. For years, I was like, nah, man, I'm all about the original soundtrack. Even when the game came out, I was like, man, it's not as cool as the original, but man, for some reason, I just downloaded that like a few months ago. There's like a mod for the music swap thing. Dude, I love the green tracks. Like, they're so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's emotion in it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I hope I get worried because Exer never got it, and they added a bunch of Guilty Gear songs, did they not? So I wonder if there's like a licensing reason, but I'm just fingers crossed, man. Just fingers crossed. If you guys have not heard the Korean soundtrack, just go GG Korean soundtrack. All of the songs are bangers, in my opinion. They're all super good.
Dude, you know which one I do miss though from Exert is Zato's song. Oh my god, dude. I love his song, man. So metal, man. Love it.
Pull out real quick. I don't even know if I left for Japan like a little bit. I think during when Exert was coming out. So I actually didn't play any amount of Exert actually. I didn't even. I played like Raven when they dropped because he was like simple to pick up. Oops, that was Maximilian. Exert, Zato. There you go. Let's check it out. Is it? Oh yeah, this song is sick. This song is pretty sick. Blank blank blank. Is that what's called? Blank blank blank. Yeah, there we go. Now it's your background. It's your theme music now, Kenji.
Oh yeah, baby. I freaking love that song, man. It's so raw, dude. Zato's like one of the coolest characters in Guilty Gear, easily.
Oh
like,
yeah, I think it's like who do you think is the most interesting character like mechanically?
Mechanically?
Yeah. And then let's go by the other one will be like who do you think is your favorite just based on appearance?
In any of the series or like?
We'll go any of the series.
I actually like Bedman a lot. Like I really.
Okay,
so here's the thing about me, it's a love-hate because I'm not a big fan of his design, like aesthetically. But I love the tools they gave him, right? Like so that's attracted to me. So in terms of his like explode state, like what kind of character in a fighting game has the I don't know, maybe Blaze Blue, right? There's that one girl that she walks in the air. Her name, but yeah, like Bedman's explode state is incredibly fun. Like I loved it. It just felt very free flowing, you know, like, and he had all these really fun YRC like corner mix-up tools, pressure, and they're really solid. I don't know. They nerfed him a lot of times, but I think, in my opinion, I felt like I had the most fun with him because he just has tons of cool things you can do, and he's very unique, like in terms of even for movement, how his neutral works, how his buttons were, like. They were very, very cool. But yeah, aesthetically, I wish he looked more metal or something darker.
Batman First Drive. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wait, let me cut you off so I can reply to Hosa real quick. Hosa-san, まだです。日本語がそんなに上手じゃないからできなかった。もしなんか日本の友達になんか見せてくれたら大丈夫と思うよ。大丈夫じゃなくてお願いします。I forgot what's 見せて misas. I forget, man. Japanese is hard. なんかケイスケさんに話したんですが、なんか間違えてできなかったと。細さんできますか？日本のたちにこれをあげますか？I forgot the word for like sending something like virtually, and there's a verb for it, and I just straight up forgot. Do you know, Kenji? Do you happen to know? Where's Hono-san? Hono-san!
I'm sorry, man. I forgot Japanese when I moved to the States.
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
Like, when did you come to the States?
I was in Japan when I was in the 80s. I grew up there from 82 through 88. I lived in Kyushu, which is like very far south, right? Like it's like a small island.
Oh, yeah, it was like Kyushu. I'm like, oh, that's pretty far south.
Yeah. So my father was like in the Navy. So he used to work on his base in Sasebo, where they have like a bunch of like all the naval ships and submarines and all that stuff, and they had commissary. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I moved to the States in '89. Moved to Ohio. No, California and then to Ohio.
Oh, really? Damn, what a change, huh? I guess you're really young, right, at that time too, right? So. Okay. じゃあ、でも本当にありがとうございます。細さん。本当にありがとうございます。なんか、誰かたちにこれはすごく面白いと思います。Is Hosa-san streaming? Does he stream?
Yeah, he does. Sometimes.
Sometimes? ちょっと見に行く。
Kesuke streams too.
細さん、今していますか Guilty Gear. I don't even know how to say Guilty Gear properly in Japanese. Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear. That's how little like video game. Data sharing is fine. Oh, 本当に楽しいと思う。なんかなんか同じことを見てたんですが、なんかめっちゃ古いのあいつ出た。あ、出ました。これ。見て。ちょっと待って。My friend's waiting for me. Give me a, I'm trying to find the one for 2012. This one right here.
Why are you bringing? Is it like the last year chart they made in Japan?
Yeah, it was made in 2012, dude.
No, dude, it had to been evolved since then, man. Like,
exactly, that's why I wanted to do it for funsies. Because I was like, why not make one, right? The game has been out for long enough that I think people could do it.
Do you remember the Testament player before Kensuke? Like, there was,
Shonen? Shonen?
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Shonen is a god, dude. Yeah, that guy was on a different planet. Like, he came from some alien planet and said, I'm gonna play Guilty Gear. Look at this.
Dude, you know he's crazy when he's like sparring partners with Ryu. You're gonna breed out some kind of crazy player.
Some of the combos he did, man, were
out
of this world.
見て。めっちゃ古いの。すごく古いです。だから新しいのを作って面白いと思いました。なんかクレプさんはこれ123秒。なんで言うか ?10? 123点です。比べて、ホストさんはどうだったかなという。Yeah, so we compare to like Hoso-san, right? Just a little bit weaker than back in 2012. Which makes sense too, right? Characters kind of get exploited, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of people then didn't play Cliff aside from Bob, maybe. But Bob was a Zato player and then ended up playing Cliff. But his Cliff was really good, like really good.
Yeah.
But you guys see Bob too. That dude's fucking, I don't know what you call him. He's a monster, man. He's so good. He did like a 40-hit combo, dude, on me.
What?
And I was like, I've never seen this in my life. And I'm seeing this slide in front of my face. This is incredible. Like, what is this dude doing? It's crazy.
Alright. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about winding down, Kenji. How about you, man?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I wrap up and then find out where to ship you guys all off to? Kenji, do you actually, let me ask you, so, do you stream?
I used to stream for, just random nights excerpt back in the day, but I haven't streamed since rollback. So,
are you thinking about going back into it, or?
A lot of people ask me if I stream, but really busy these days in the evenings.
Right.
I like to do besides gaming a lot of times. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe when Strive comes out, because I'm definitely gonna be playing Strive. So
you're gonna play. He just answered your question, Nev. Who do you think you're gonna play?
I play Nagori Yuki in the beta. I really like him a lot.
Okay.
But I'm definitely gonna go back to Anji just to see how he plays. But I might end up, since the game is like real simple in comparison to like Exert and XX, I could probably pick up like maybe 2 or 3. So we'll see. I'm hoping for Zappa to come back though, even though he's gonna be drastically different. Like
he's gonna have a gun, man. He's gonna have a gun.
He's just gonna have a ghost gun, like just like a can't.
He'll be a Ghostbuster. He's trying to cure Faust of his sickness or whatever he's going on with Faust. Alright. Any other questions? Because I'm gonna, it's past my time. I really can't thank you enough, Kenji. It was super cool having you out here. You are as nice as everyone says.
Thank you. I'm sorry if boring talking about the matchups, but thanks for if you guys stuck it through. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Well, thanks for hosting. It was great talking to you, and hopefully the Twizzlers, when they come in, they're good.
I'll have a review stream. I'll let you know when that happens.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
You're gonna play Strawberry Justice that evening.
They come in on the 30th. I'm probably more so worried about the quantity. I should just start mailing them out to viewers for like as like an award for people. Like, here you go, have these.
If they win the Pokemon battle on your stream, right? Like maybe they get like a piece of Twizzler. Like send them a list of it, like one section.
You grabbed it. じゃあ終わりましょうか。放送さんいましたらありがとうございます。本当に本当に。じゃあ僕はケイスケさんにも話したいんです。日本語がそんなに上手じゃないけど頑張ります。はい。Okay, so everyone, I'm gonna wrap up here. Kenji, you're free to bounce if you want to.
Okay.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, at one point we should probably just grind some sets at some point too, if you ever want to do that.
Yeah, I'm down. I also picked up Anji again. Just it's been a while.
Oh, dude.
So.
A lot of the newer people are learning Anji too, so they might really enjoy having fun with that actually. So I'll let you know, or let me know if you're free too, and if you ever want to just play, I'll be available.
Okay. Good. Yeah, but you have a good night. Everyone in the stream have a good night. Maybe I'll play you guys on the lobby at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I usually just go to random lobbies. So.
Yeah, I definitely know. And you definitely camp it out for quite a while, I must say.
Yeah, I usually power up early and then just sit there and listen to good music. Like I put on my Amazon Music and just put my headphones and just play like for a few hours and then take a break and then maybe another few hours. You know, it's so much fun. So yeah, man, I'm down whenever you guys. If I see you guys out there, I'll just usually just jump into whatever lobby if it's good enough connection. So.
All right, that's cool. Sorry, did I cut you off?
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce.
All right, I really appreciate it, man. You have a great night. I'll hit you up later for shuffle matches for sure. Full show.
All right.
Cool. All right, later, man. And everyone, good night. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, Friday. I don't know about you, Kenji. If you want to hang out again, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, then.
Peace.
Good night. Good night. I'm gonna put on Ryza for a little bit while I transfer you guys to. I don't know where we're rating. I haven't decided.